College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. Welcome to Jack Spink's Marino Kasem Stadium in Lorman, Mississippi, for the SWAC East Division battle between the Alabama State Hornets and the Alcorn State Braves. A big game tonight in the SWAC East Division, as both these teams right now unbeaten in conference play. So happy you could join us from Lorman, Mississippi, along with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. Jay, sometimes us announcers are accused of hyperbole. Not tonight. This is a huge game in the SWAC.
It's a huge football game being played here in Lorman, Mississippi, but it has long-term effects for who will be the representative of the SWAC Eastern Division in their championship game in December. Both teams are playing football at an extremely high level. They're both ranked in the top 5 in HBCU power ranking. Look for them to give us an old-fashioned slug-out football game tonight.
And both these teams known for their running attack. For Alabama State, that means Malcolm Cyrus, one of the best in the conference and in the FCS.
Malcolm Cyrus is special. He's having a phenomenal senior season. After backing up running back Isaiah Crowell a season ago, it's his turn to shine, and boy, is he doing a good job. Named to the Walter Payton Award watch list, one of only 22 players in the country. He's averaging 144 yards rushing per game. He's got everything you want in a dynamic player, and more importantly, the bigger the game, the bigger the situation, the bigger that Malcolm Cyrus plays.
You and I were here 5 days ago on Saturday, and we saw Alcorn State completely undress the reigning conference champion Southern. 6 rushing touchdowns for Alcorn State, but believe it or not, they had a very balanced offense Saturday.
Yeah, this is the balanced attack that's led by their quarterback, 6'6" John Gibbs. He's the one that stirs the drink. He's got to put him in the right position to make positive yardage on their plays. This is an explosive and athletic running back core that's one of the best in all of SCS football. They've got some playmakers that can attack the edge and really put pressure on the defense, and they've got tremendous athletes, and I've mentioned that. Take a look at this play right here. What a great run here. You'll see this time and time again. It's going to be a great matchup here in Lorman.
Well, we're set to go. Alabama State won the toss, and they will receive on what's been a nice night so far here in Lorman, Mississippi. The forecast called for thunderstorms. We may still get one, hopefully not during game time, but we are set to go as Hayden McCraney to kick off. There's the Mario Bell back deep for Alabama State. Alabama State in the road white with the gold and black trim, and Alcorn State wearing the purple with the gold trim. And we are underway, and great to have you with us for this SWAC battle. Bell's going to bring it out from 7 yards deep. Hit hard at the 18, falls forward towards the 20, maybe makes it to about the 21. And that's where Alabama State will begin. Redshirt junior quarterback for Alabama State, Daniel Duhart.
Duhart's going to have to play football exceptionally well at a high level, particularly with his football IQ. This is an Alcorn State defense that likes to confuse the quarterback with their different pre-snap looks. Duhart is a 52% passer on the year. He's going to need to get that number a little bit higher today to put them in manageable third down situations to move the chains.
Well, you mentioned the rushing, Jay. Alabama State averaging 270 rushing yards per game. Alcorn State's defense allowing 86 yards rushing per game. We'll see what gives tonight. And they give it right to Malcolm Cyrus, and he is tied up, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. There on the tackle was Corey Williams.
I think the key to this game is going to be the number of tackles for losses that we see. If Alabama State has tackles for losses, they're going to be in for a long night. Alcorn is one of the best teams in the country doing that. They don't give you a conventional look. They'll have 2 linemen and 6 linebackers in there to create their 8-man box. So much confusion on the quarterback, not only in the passing game, but in the running game as well.
Rod Holloway, our referee, there was a whistle right at the snap, but apparently no flag. So now they restart. Here's the band warning is what was assessed there. They did not like the fact the bands were still playing. Here's Duhart going deep, and the adjustment and the catch made at the 30-yard line by Demario Bell. And a big gainer on the second play of the game for Alabama State.
And Demario Bell is going to be the difference maker for Alabama State here. He's my impact player, somebody that has to take the load off the passing game. He's an exceptional talent. You'll see him here just leave his defender in the dust. 6 feet 3 inches, 180 pounds with NFL potential. He will lead Montgomery, Alabama as the school's all-time leading receiver.
52-yard gain, so first down at the 27-yard line for Alabama State. A minimal gain there. Let's take a look at our impact players, and we know why DeMario Bell's on that list already.
DeMario Bell is special, and he showed you why right away. Probably the fastest person on the field right now. Alcorn State, it's inside linebacker Damon Watkins, who has to be responsible for stopping the running game. We've already seen him with the tackle for a loss early in this football game. He's going to have to do that on a continuous basis.
Second down at 6. Tried a little fly sweep and nothing there. Maybe loses about a yard. Well read by number 33, Damon Watkins, the strong side linebacker. You look at the matchup with Alabama State, and they have the football averaging about 35 points a game, and then Alcorn State defense tops in the conference, allowing less than 14.
What's the phrase? Something has to give. If the numbers play out, then this, I don't know. If the numbers play out, Alabama State wins it with 34 points, or Alcorn holds them to just 13 points.
Alcorn State will use a timeout. So a 3rd and 7 upcoming for Alabama State on this, the opening drive of the game.
For nearly 40 years, Musco has specialized in the design and manufacture of sports and large area lighting solutions. From neighborhood ball fields to international speedways, Musco is committed to providing cost-effective lighting solutions and services you can rely on. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting, we make it happen.
No score early from Alcorn State, and we saw the Braves on Saturday here, Jay. Defensively really made life difficult for Southern.
You have the small, speedy defensive front 7 for Alcorn State. One of the best in the country in tackles for losses. We've already seen them have a tackle for loss here tonight versus Southern. Last Saturday, they were all over the place, continue to pressure the pocket and not allowing Southern to pick up many positive yards. It's a very aggressive and opportunistic defense. When you've got a defense that's aggressive, controls the line of scrimmage, find yourself in this category here.
13.6 points per game they've allowed. Illinois State tops the FCS right now, averaging just a touchdown a game that they've allowed. So here's a 3rd down and 7 for Alabama State. And Duhart to throw. Here comes the blitz. He's under pressure and sacked. Back at the 32-yard line. Once again, there was Damon Watkins.
And that's not a surprise. Damon Watkins is the inside linebacker for Alcorn State. They're just going to bring pressure. Daniel Duhart looking away from the pressure. Great individual effort by Watkins to get to the quarterback. They have him picked up. Got a body on a body, but it was a great individual effort by Damon Watkins to beat Malcolm Cyrus, the running back in pass protection, for the sack.
So to punt, Hayden McCraney trying to pin in Alcorn State, and he's going to do just that at the 5-yard line. It's down. Hayden McCraney with the nice punt to pin in. Alcorn State, we're going to begin at their own 5-yard line. And there's Reggie Barlow, the head coach for Alabama State in his 8th season. Expectations are very high in Montgomery.
And rightfully so. This is one of the best teams we've seen throughout the country, and arguably the best team Coach Reggie Barlow has had in his tenure at Alabama State.
Junior quarterback John Gibbs Jr. out of Booker T. Washington High School in Houston. Braves' first possession begins at their own 5. Williams is the back. Out of his own end zone and strike to Charlie Hughes. Charles Hughes up to the 12, tackled by Deontay Ponder, the cornerback.
Good job by offensive coordinator Willie Simmons of opening up the playbook. We know that Alcorn wants to run the football, backed up within their own 5-yard line. Everything says they're going to run the ball. They come out, first play pass, trying to get their quarterback, John Gibbs, off to a hot start.
Fourth catch of the year there for Hughes. Take the handoff to Williams, again in the air, and overthrows the intended receiver, that time Billy Shedd. Let's take a look at our impact players.
Charlie Hughes, the wide receiver, we're going to call his name often. He's a game breaker. And also linebacker Courtney Berry has been starting at Alabama State ever since he got on campus. He's a sophomore, but he's an experienced player.
3rd down and 3. Gibbs again in the air, and a strike to Jordan Payne. A first down to the 35, all the way across the 40, up to the 43-yard line. So on a 3rd down and 3, a 31-yard gain.
Great job by Jordan Payne of just replacing the blitzing linebacker. They bring a blitz to the outside. Watch him replace it with a quick slant. Nobody sees him. Great recognition by John Gibbs.
Quickly to the line on the first down, and a gain of about 2 that time for Hughes. But we're seeing Gibbs and Alcorn State ball in the air a lot more frequently than we thought perhaps they would here early in the game.
I think they're trying to tire out the front 7 for Alabama State. The strength of this Hornets defense is the big guys up front. Justin Mitchell, Derek Billups, Edward Mosley. If they can get them to chase the quarterback a little bit, it should open up big seams in the running game.
Here's the pitch to Ragsdale. First carry for him. He's inside Alabama State territory. Steps out at around the 43-yard line of the Hornets, and a gain of 10.
We saw Ragsdale with the highlight in the open. He gets on the perimeter. Very difficult to bring down. He averages 9.5 yards a carry. With 5 touchdowns on the season, he's really tough in open field.
He had a touchdown on Saturday against Southern at a career-high 125 yards. In motion comes Shed. They faked the fly sweep to him. It was kept by Gibbs, and perhaps that time they should have given it up to Billy Shed. The head coach for Alcorn State. We'll see him there in a moment. There he is. There's Jay Hobson.
The thing about Jay Hobson, a little bit of controversy when he got the job here at Alcorn, but since he's been hired, there have been nothing but positive things. This is the program that's headed in the right direction. Here, he's from the Vicksburg area, calls this area home. I had a vision that said, I can do something special at Alcorn if you give me a chance. And I think he's exceeded his timeline by 1 year, having the Braves in a position to compete for a title already.
Ragsdale cuts it back and spins forward to the 41-yard line, tripped up by the linebacker, Torrey Davis. Now with the matchup with the Braves have the football, you see their offense averaging most in the conference, 47 points per game, and the Alabama State defense not bad, 2nd in the conference, giving up about 21.
Normal years, giving up 20 points a game will have you number 1, but this Alcorn defense has been phenomenal.
3rd down and 8. Gibbs wanting to put it in the air, hit as he throws, and picked off. Intercepted at the 24. There is a flag down. That's Deontay Ponder who picked it off for Alabama State. Let's see if the play will come back, though. Wow, player of Alabama State lined up in the neutral zone. That's going to cost him a turnover.
Then you're going to see here at the bottom of your screen, hard count's going to force him to jump off sides. He gets stuck, can't get back in time. John Gibbs realized he had a free play, took a deep shot.
And every time Alcorn State realizes they have a free play, we notice the offensive line doesn't move. Can you explain why they do that?
Because you don't want them to jump as well. With the officials see something where they say we're both sides.
You want to make the other side look even guiltier.
That's one way to word it.
3rd down and 3. Aaron Baker now in the backfield, along with Williams and the fullback Young. Going to give it to Williams, who had a huge day Saturday. He's able to get the first down. A flag down right near the area of the tackle. Courtney Berry, the impressive middle linebacker for Alabama State, with the tackle.
It'll be holding against Alcorn State. That'll take them back 10 yards. And that last play, they had an opportunity to see what a game player Courtney Berry can be. Playing your inside linebacker position, this is going to be Berry right here. Watch him get through all the wash and turn on the speed to track down. Recognize he's looking, recognition becomes a sprint to the outside, down the line of scrimmage. That's how you play the inside linebacker position.
The ball spotted back at the 46 of Alabama State, and it's a 3rd and 13 for Alcorn State. 3 receivers to the right, including at the top of the screen, Jarvis Turner. Now Gibbs, who can run, takes off. And he slides down right near the marker and short. Well,
That's a tough one. I don't think he picked up the first down. He slid a yard and a half too soon from the spot.
Now, do they go ahead and go for it here? But let's take a look at the play.
Great recognition. Man-to-man coverage. Nobody accounts for the quarterback. He easily could have picked up another yard, but instead slid a yard short and puts head coach Jay Hobson in a unique predicament.
And needed to make the 34 for the first down, and where he was down was right around or just shy of the 35.
This is dangerous because the Alabama State defensive line can stop you from getting this 1 yard.
Alcorn State 6 and 9 on 4th down this year. Did they make it there with the push? Anthony Williams getting the carry on 4th and 2. Stopped by Courtney Berry. And with that spot, it is a first down for Alcorn State. So the premature quarterback slide kind of turns out to be a moot point there, Jay. But you're right. It really put Jay Hobson in a tough early position there.
Particularly when you have a running game that's not really based on running in between the tackles. They like to run outside the tackle box, outside zone plays. Alabama State, very, very tough to run on.
10th play of this drive. Here's the fly sweep. Jarvis Turner running left, and that was well read. Trey Jenkins, the strong safety. Nice tackle by the sophomore out of Daphne, Alabama.
And that's more of the traditional Alcorn running game. They want to run sideline to sideline, make you beat them sideline. You see the jet sweep here. Courtney Berry's going to get in the backfield but missed the tackle. Unfortunately, Trey Jenkins was there. But this is an Alcorn team that is speed and finesse when it comes to their running attack.
Give us to Ragsdale.
Nothing in there.
Well, he looked for daylight. He even hesitated, gave it a good look, tried to go off right guard, right tackle, but nothing there. Number 21, linebacker Deontrell Silman.
That's what you want right there. That's the beat. Justin Mitchell, 305 pounds, active D tackle. Joined by 96, Derek Billups, 308 pounds, active D tackle. They're just run stuffers. They're trying to hog up space so that Silman and Berry can come in and just wipe out the opposing running backs.
First possession of the game here for Alcorn State. It's eaten up about 6 minutes, and that's incomplete at the 20. A very catchable ball for Billy Shedd. Defended there once again by Jenkins.
And once again, they exposed the middle of the field. There was nobody in the middle of the field. He's able to make a catch. Plenty of room to run. I think this is the ball where Gibbs has to lead him a little bit more. If they're going to play man-to-man coverage, you have to lead your receiver. You can't throw it behind him.
Hayden McCraney to attempt the field goal. This is a drive that began at their own 5, and here's a 47-yard attempt. It's lined up pretty much middle of the field. Long this year has been 39. The 47-yard attempt, does it have enough? Yes. So a season-long 47-yarder for Hayden McCraney, and the sophomore out of Jackson, Mississippi, is Alcorn State. The first points of the night.
Well, what do we say when we come here to Alcorn? If you start hearing this music in the background, it means good things are happening for the Braves. Capping off a 95, a drive to start on their own 5-yard line. They got 3 points on the board. Alcorn's up 3-0 at home.
When you play Monopoly.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And in part by Allstate, proud supporters of college football. Are you in good hands? Well, that's the Oakland Chapel. It's the oldest building on the Alcorn State campus. And inside the chapel, being married inside the chapel is high on the priority list, I think, for a lot of Alcorn State alums.
That's the oldest building on campus here. Alcorn State is the oldest land-grant institution in America, so plenty of history in the building there.
Well, in this big SWAC East Division battle, 47-yard field goal for Hayden McCraney, 3-0 Alcorn State.
That was a great response. I mean, both teams came out and did what they wanted to do. Alabama State moved the football, controlled the battle of field position, and Alcorn State backed up, able to get some points on the board with a nice drive engineered by quarterback John Gibbs.
Well, Well, Alabama State, Daniel Duhart to have the football for a second time. They had one big play on their first possession, Jay. That was the 52-yard catch and throw to Demario Bell. Other than that, though, they were pretty well stymied on that drive.
They were trying to establish where they're going to run the football. It's very confusing where you're going to rush the football against Alcorn State. They only give up 86 yards per game on the ground.
Malcolm Cyrus came in 722. He's up that to 725. Number 2 overall in the FCS.
But I think what you're going to see Alabama State do is really key their offense off Demario Bell. If they see man-to-man coverage with Bell at the top of your screen, they're going to throw the football. If you see 2 defenders over there like you see right now, they're going to run the football.
Run it with Malcolm Cyrus. Puts the head down for a gain of about 3. 28-yard line.
Early on, you can see that Alabama State's Bell has earned the respect of the Alcorn defense. They're not going to play man-to-man coverage when Bell's in the game. They're going to try and get an extra defender in there for run support.
Give it to Cyrus, running left, cuts it back. Stood up at the 31. It's going to leave him about 3 yards from the first down and a third down upcoming.
I'm really impressed with how Alcorn State is able to stop the running game. They used, on that last play, they had 2 defensive linemen in a 3-point stance, and the rest were standing up. Now, 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, nickel package.
Duhart's past Barnes. Anthony Williams there trying to knock it out and did so on the tight end Brandon Barnes.
Had enough yards to pick up the first down, but nice hit by Williams to dislodge the football, forcing the officials to call it incomplete.
So a quick 3 and out for Alabama State on this, their second possession of the football game, and Preston Clark on to punt. Williams back and waving everybody off. A short punt. And bounce right along the 40, be batted there. Just a 27-yard punt for Clark, who came in averaging about 34 yards a punt. College football on ESPNU continues Saturday with a triple header. First at noon, All-State Saturday kickoff brings you SMU and 22nd ranked East Carolina. Then at 3:30, an ACC showdown as Clemson host North Carolina State. And finally at 7 in college football primetime presented by 5 Hour Energy. Texas Tech takes the field against 23rd ranked Kansas State. All games also available live on Watch ESPN. Well, the Braves unbeaten in conference play, 4-1 overall. Their one loss came in non-conference play to Southern Miss, lost 26-20, a game they thought they could have won, Jay.
Yes, they had a touchdown called back on special teams and still had a chance to win, but a non-call, the folks in Lorman say, cost them that victory.
Anthony Williams picks up 6.
Trying to put pressure on the linebacking core, get the ball to Anthony Williams, force Courtney Berry to make a good open field tackle. Typical linebacker won't make that play on Williams. He's that dynamic, but Berry is a tackling machine for Alabama State.
Gibbs gives it to Williams. Makes a spin move, gets away. And into the waiting arms at the 48-yard line. Just a gain of a couple.
Trying to run on the perimeter. Very fortunate that Jeffrey Reno, right there, number 70, that's a hold all day, every day, and twice on Sundays versus Torrey Davis. But it just goes to show you right now the front 4 for Alabama State is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, forcing Alcorn to run the football on the perimeter. There's no yards to be made in between the tackles.
Design run. This is Gibbs. He takes off down the sideline and has a first down. Trey Jenkins pushing him out of bounds.
Great call here. You have misdirection. When you've got a quarterback that's not accounted for in the running game, misdirection with the quarterback counter with the lead guard out there to block, Isaac Sampson. John Gibbs, we talked about his size at 6 feet 6 inches, but he's quicker than people think, a better runner than the defense gives him credit for.
He picked up 18 yards, and now there goes Ragsdale, headed for the end zone. Touchdown. 6th rushing touchdown of the season for the junior out of Brandon, Mississippi. A 40-yard run.
This is great vision by Ragsdale. Take a look. The play is designed to come here. He sees nothing. Watch him take it to the sideline and use his speed to get to the perimeter. This is great vision by Ragsdale. Nothing there. Bounce it, find a crease, turn on the jets, becomes a foot race. And he's going to win that one. Darren Ragsdale, we've seen him with electrifying runs the past 5 days and continuing to tote that rock effectively for the Braves.
A whistle at the snap. The extra point attempt. Ragsdale, big week last week. Career high 125 yards, had a rushing touchdown, and was named the SWAC newcomer of the week. This guy, a transfer, played JUCO ball at Hines Community College in Mississippi.
And I think players like Ragsdale coming to the program is part of the recipe that Jay Hobson had when he came to Lorman. Tremendous junior college programs throughout the state of Mississippi. Ragsdale, a product of them, and he's doing great things for the Braves here.
Granny's extra point makes it 10-0. 40-yard touchdown run for Darian Ragsdale. 4 minutes to go still in the first quarter, and it's 10-0 Braves.
A college football doubleheader kicks off Saturday at 3:30 on ESPNU.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team. That's fast.
Well, this is a big college football weekend in the Magnolia State of Mississippi, and really it's beginning here tonight, Alcorn State. And the Braves making the early statement. A 4-play, 60-yard drive, ate up just over a minute and a half, and the Ragsdale 40-yard TD run. 10-0 Braves leading.
We talked last week when we were here on Saturday how this is becoming the toughest road trip in HBCU football. Things just got a lot tougher for the Hornets, falling behind early, 10-0. So the rowdy student section here and a very hungry Alcorn State team. Daniel Duhart, he's got to go out there and earn a scholarship right now. He's got to get it together.
Yeah, the third possession upcoming here for Alabama State. Really, you look at their first two. First possession had a long 52-yard catch by DeMario Bell. And then the drive stalled there, and they had to punt. And then on their last possession, a 3-and-out.
Coach Reggie Barlow has to pick up a couple first downs, stay ahead of the chain game. But it's so difficult to scheme versus this Alcorn State defense with defensive coordinator Tony Pecoraro. He's doing a fantastic job, and this defense for Alcorn State is legit.
Play fake, Duhart going deep, looking for Bell, and broken up. Warren Gatewood, the cornerback, came over to break it up late.
Yeah, we saw Bell asking for pass interference, jumped over him. Football play. I mean, as much as we like offensive football, I think that's just a good football play being made by Warren Gatewood.
Bell, the receiver at the bottom of the screen.
Watch Cantu coming off the corner. He's their best blitzer in the secondary.
Duhart sets it up, the screen. Cyrus sidesteps the defender at the 30 to the 31-yard line, wrapped up by C.J. Morgan. Transfer from Iowa State.
So fast. Versus normal defense, once you make one person defender miss, there's plenty of yardage, but not versus this Alcorn State Brave defense. He makes one person miss, and there are two more purple jerseys there to finish off that run. Malcolm Cyrus doing his best, but just one person too many getting to the football.
3rd down and 5, and make it a long 4.
They need this one badly. You get the sense early in this football game.
Duhart rolls out and incomplete in the direction of Bell. Again defended by Warren Gatewood in the second consecutive series 3-and-out for the Alabama State offense.
Yeah, just look at this. Look at all the bodies you see standing up on the line of scrimmage. Duhart can't read that. He doesn't know, is that a nickel package? Is that a dime package? All the bodies standing up on the line of scrimmage. He's having difficulty how to account for them. And Alabama State has not figured it out yet.
Preston Clark punt, and another short one down inside Alabama State territory at around the 46-yard line. Just a 16-yard punt. Well, we're, of course, in Norman, Mississippi, and Alcorn State known for Air McNair, Steve McNair. Finished third in the Heisman vote.
And we know the stadium is called Spinks Kasem Stadium, but this structure we're in, this is the house that Steve Air 2 McNair built. Phenomenal player, one of the all-time greats in HBCU football. Hey, hand him the Heisman, finishing third place in the Heisman Trophy voting.
Four-time All-Conference Offensive Player of the Year, finished third behind Rashaan Salam and Kajana Carter. Quick strike, a missed tackle. All the way down the sideline goes Turner. You said Air 2 McNair. To give respect to that man who was Air 1, his older brother Fred McNair.
You know, Steve often talked about he was fortunate enough to watch his brother play quarterback at Alcorn. Fred taught him how to read coverages when he was in middle school and set the NCAA record book on fire. He's now, Air 1 is now the quarterback coach down here on, as they like to call it here, the reservation.
After no gain for Alcorn State on the first down play, so a second down and 10. Ragsdale the back, and they have Alondre Young, the fullback, in there. Young had a touchdown catch here on Saturday against Southern. Gibbs kept it straight ahead across near the 20, a gain of about 7. A yard and a half, 2 yards from the first down.
As Alcorn continues to attack the perimeter of the Alabama State defense, Gibbs realizes I'll be the running game in between the tackles. Anytime they've had good runs in between the two tackles, it's been because of the quarterback. That's a great recognition and a great adjustment being made by the coaching staff at Alcorn. No point in running Ragsdale and Baker and Williams in between the tackles. Let our 6'6" quarterback get the hard yards.
Gibbs play fake, flips it out, the first down catch inside the 10, down near the 5. There's the fullback, Alondre Young. I mentioned just a moment ago, Jay, he had a touchdown catch here on Saturday.
Yeah, the only catch on the season, and this is just great game playing. Aggressive defense on third down. Give them something to bite on. They bid on the run with the quick play action. Able to sneak Young out into the flat for the first down.
So that was his second catch of the year. It went for 13 and a first down, and it's 1st and goal from the 7. Gibbs. Well, the pass was behind Turner in the end zone.
What you'll see from Alcorn once they get the ball in this part of the field, change up the running backs. They've got running back by committee. They want the power back, and that's redshirt freshman Aaron Baker, number 36. If I was a Hornet defense, I would key in on Baker entering the football game. He has 3 touchdowns already on the season.
2 of those touchdowns came 2 games ago at Mississippi Valley State when he had 10 carries, 79 yards. Up the gut there, dragging tacklers near the goal line. Picks up 6. It'll be 3rd and goal inside the 1.
He's the power back. You know, the numbers don't lie. When he gets in there around this part of the field, they want him to punch it in.
Does he do so? They're looking for a signal here. Still no signal.
He's in.
And yes, there it is. Fourth rushing touchdown of the year for the redshirt freshman from Florida, Aaron Baker.
He's going to get the ball for a reason. He can smell the end zone. Good job with a second effort and a lunge. Able to cross the goal line by inches.
7-play drive. They went 47 yards, so they began that possession on Alabama State's side of the field.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the 2014 members of the 1871 Club. Representative for our team is Dr. J. Carter.
The replay booth is going to take a little longer look at this, see if he did get in. I don't know if there'll be enough evidence to overturn it.
Quick count, but you'll see. And right there, I think he's in. And he's clearly in enough where you can't take the points off the board. There's not indisputable video evidence to say that he is not in the end zone. If it's close, that call on the field should stand.
That's one. Going for 3. That's one. That's one. Doing it for my kids. Yeah.
For more information on how you can enhance your game experience and enjoy
It's a good football team to watch them on.
I'm stunned right now, Jay. I mean, they're about to put it up an extra point. This call should stand, and looking at a 17-0 lead late in the first quarter.
We saw how they dismantled the defending SWAC champions in Southern on Saturday, and they're playing football at extremely high level. And this is a very, very talented Alabama State football team. Thus far, they've jumped on early.
After review, the ruling on the play stands. Touchdown.
And that just lets you know now, one thing about the boys from Montgomery, Alabama State, they're going to get it together. They're going to figure it out. But part of the reason why I said this is one of the tough road trips in all of HBCU football, very tough place to get to, very tough defense. So by the time you figure out you're in a football game, you're normally behind, and Alabama State's going to have to show some mental toughness to get back in this game.
Aiden McCraney tacks on the extra point, and with 35 seconds left in the first quarter, it's 17-0 Alcorn State. Take a look at their 3 drives. They've all resulted in points, and really maybe the first one kind of set the tone, Jay. Just getting that field goal, the 47-yard field goal, opened the door for them.
Yeah, they were backed up on their own 5-yard line when they started that drive. They drove 65 yards, kicked the field goal, and getting points in that situation really does give you encouragement. This is an Alabama State defense that not used to being pushed around the football field. A very impressive job by the offensive unit from Alcorn State. Guess what, folks? If you haven't figured out, the Braves are back in the greater landscape of HBCU football.
Third-year head coach Jay Hobson, who played college football in this state at Ole Miss. He was a safety there back in '88 through '91. And you alluded to it at the top. There was controversy, Jay, when he was hired. The first white football head coach in SWAC history.
You know, and at the time, I can understand that. But keep in mind, what I always thought was the SEC had already integrated African-American coaches before the SWAC had integrated a non-African-American coach. And everything just added up. With him being from this area, his brothers involved in politics in this area, his father's like the town doctor, as they have in some parts of the country. Very popular around here. It just seemed to work. And at the time, I remember saying, it's not as if the upper echelon of coaches were knocking down the door to come coach here at Alcorn. He lives here, has always lived here, called this place home. And I think it was just a good fit when they went out and found Coach Jay Hobson.
Well, 3 possessions, 3 scores so far tonight for Alcorn State. 3 possessions for Alabama State, 3 punts, including 3 and outs their last 2 possessions.
And you're still at the point in the game where disregard the scoreboard. You're down 17 points. Go with your original game plan. What was your game plan? If your game plan was to get Malcolm Cyrus on track, this is a series you must get him on track. If your game plan is to go to DeMario Bell, this is when you must go to DeMario Bell.
False start. 80. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, wide receiver Nehemiah Henry moved early and playing behind the chains already, 1st and 15.
Yeah, the 5th-year senior from Millery, Alabama. Not what you expect from one of your senior leaders.
Too hard keeping. Or just a yard.
They've got the option of not running a play if they don't want to, and I think the way the first quarter's gone,
they want to get out of this.
They want to get out of this first quarter as quickly as possible, maybe change the field direction Good move.
That's the end of the first quarter. A quarter dominated by the home team, Alcorn State. McCraney's 47-yard field goal got it going, and Ragsdale 40-yard TD run, and Baker added a 1-yard touchdown run. Into one, 17-zip Braves.
Nebraska, Michigan State, Saturday, ABC.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. Well, the first quarter not only dominated on the scoreboard, 17-0 by Alcorn State, but how about Alabama State? One first down, Jay.
I was going to say, if you ask me what stands out, one first down through one quarter of football versus an offense that's been high-powered, that averages 34 points per game.
Second and 15. Tackled back at the 20. Duhart brought down by Darian Moody and Corey Williams. There's Moody, number 56.
Darian Moody, 4.5 tackles for losses on the season, all 4.5 quarterback sacks. He doesn't tackle running backs. He goes after quarterbacks from his defensive end position.
3rd and 13, which Alabama State needs to convert or have a third straight 3 and out.
Look at this. They just have 5 bodies around the line of scrimmage. Nobody who's going to rush the quarterback.
What do you do as a quarterback, Jay?
Nobody's in a 3-point stance. They're moving around. You have to zone protect that.
Out to Cyrus. Needs to make the 35 for the first down. Not even close. He'll be about 6 yards short. 4th down, and Alabama State to punt again. I'm gonna throw that question back at you. What do you do when you expect to see linemen at 3-point stance, Jay? They're just jumping around.
Zone protected. Don't make it a man-to-man blocking scheme, and just have your guys do zone and feel comfortable as a quarterback. But the first thing you must do is read and recognize who the 5 people are. Do a number count. They only have 5 people.
Preston Clark, whose last 2 punts were 27 and 16 yards. It's a better boot and a nicer roll this time. All the way inside the 30. This time a 41-yard punt for Preston Clark. Well, here's what's ahead on Saturday on ESPNU. It begins at noon. Ranked East Carolina, they're number 22, taking on SMU. And at 3:30, North Carolina State, Clemson at 7. Texas Tech at 23rd ranked K-State. And then, oh yeah, Jay and I will be in Atlanta. The Atlanta Football Classic. South Carolina State, North Carolina A&T at 10 o'clock Eastern from the Georgia Dome.
And that's going to be a good one, but what about the job Ruffin McDill in East Carolina has done this football season? You know what I like when I see East Carolina play football?
What's that?
They play good old-fashioned man-to-man coverage. They get in your face and say, we're going to cover your wide receivers with our cornerbacks. One-on-one, no help over the top. It's like the good old-fashioned Raiders used to do in the NFL. You don't see that too often in today's college football world. Nice.
Completed. Brandon Vessel to the 47, and the offense just keeps churning out yards for Alcorn State. That's a gain of 18.
Yeah, once again, just replacing where the blitzer's coming from. It was a great job of recognition by Gibbs, faking the run and just hitting the little pop pass to the streaking Vessel downfield. Alcorn's putting on a clinic right now.
Set up the screen. It's Eric Rollins. Rollins, whose dad played at Texas A&M and in the NFL, coached the Seattle football family. He gains 8.
We know they want to attack the perimeter of the defense, and now I'm starting to see the body of Alabama State, big number 96, Derek Billups. He's going to be the last man you see getting a 3-point stance. Justin Mitchell is getting tired. You see the linemen from Alabama State trying to take oxygen up. They're tired. Right now, Alcorn State is having their way with this very good defensive unit in Alabama State.
There for Ragsdale. Enough for the first down. Needed 2, picks up 4.
And that's what football's all about. When somebody's tired, they don't give you the energy and effort that they normally would. So for one of the few times tonight, we've seen Alcorn run the ball effectively in between the guards.
Get their balance last week in their 40-point win over the defending conference champions, Southern. Gibbs throws across the middle, incomplete. The intended receiver was Vessel. That ball zipped past the intended receiver and almost got the back judge. But he threw a bullet here.
Gibbs had to get rid of it quick, and that's the first sign right there. Alabama State starting to blitz the quarterback, realizing only 4 defensive linemen rushing is not effective in the running game, but more importantly, it's not helping them out in the passing game. Look for defensive coordinator Kevin Ramsey to dial up more blitzes as this game goes on. They're bringing the pressure again. They think they're on to something.
Rollins slung down at the 29 and another first down. K-Rod Stewart, Chris Terry with the tackle, but you're right. There was pressure coming from that edge.
But they wanted the pressure. Watch them bait the pressure. They're going to bring pressure from here and here. You know the one thing that kills blitzes? Screens. Go to the screen game, wide receiver screen. All you have to do is make one person miss. You pick up the first down. Great play call by Willie Simmons, anticipating the blitz.
Gibbs stands in strong and fires to Casey Freeman, who's a running back, kind of H-back tight end. To say he stepped down 23. A little extra John going on. The end of that play. Let's see where he did step out. I think that left foot there at the
21-yard line. Might have cheated him of a yard on the spot. The ball's currently on the 22-yard line. But when you're up 17-0, you're at home. Who's complaining? What's a yard between good old friends?
The way this Braves offense is rolling, not much. Picking up the blitz there was Baker, and they throw outside, a quick strike, but Deontay Ponder, number 29, quickly upending Ladarian Davis.
And once again, defensive coordinator Kevin Ramsey dialing up another blitz. Realizes a sense of urgency. They've had some success on a couple of plays, but be careful. If you live by the blitz, you know what else you can do? You can die by the blitz as well. Watch the middle of the field. They've been attacking that pretty well on third down.
The rush 4. Gibbs steps up, throws to the end zone a little high for Brandon Vessel. If that's on target, it's another 6. It's 4th down.
And look at this. The only reason he threw it because Vessel was wide open, but Gibbs is realizing he's had success running the football. He's going to run. Nobody in the middle, but wait a minute. Wide open receiver deep down the middle. Let me take a shot. Just a little bit high on the throw, but once again, Alcorn exploiting the middle of the defense for Alabama State.
Well, McCraney had hit a 47-yard field goal earlier, but their offense rolling. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 8.
I think because they saw something that they liked with that previous look. Don't be surprised if you see them attack the middle of the field. There it is.
Gibbs goes to the middle, and a first down saving tackle at the 21 by Courtney Berry, the middle linebacker, and they're going to turn it over on downs.
They had a look that they liked, and that was attacking the middle of the field, and the coordinator wished Gibbs would have rushed for it on the previous play. He did not, so they decided to try a middle screen, but great play by that all-SWAC linebacker by the name of Courtney Berry, the sophomore from Indiana. Huge play for the Hornets.
Nearly a century ago,
arms around the fact that Maryland and Rutgers are in the Big Ten.
And Maryland's playing well in the Big Ten.
They are.
They beat Indiana, who was coming off a huge victory.
10:26 to go till halftime. 17-0 Alcorn State. Here's Alabama State taking over on downs after Alcorn State missed on 4th down, and Cyrus making his presence felt with a run of about 10 on 1st down, stopped by C.J. Morgan. Alabama State and Alcorn State each unbeaten in conference play coming in. A loss would be devastating for either of these teams, but Alabama State's been within a game of making that conference final.
And I think, you could almost say this has been the Achilles heel of Coach Barlow. Good, but not quite good enough to get it done. 7-2 in conference play. The last 3 seasons, not gotten him into the SWAC title game. And this game is really, really important because the fact is, if you can't knock off Alcorn, you can't think 2 teams are going to. Even if one does, you would need that second loss because Alcorn would win the head-to-head tiebreak, and they're on the same part of the SWAC.
Going to measure here. And it's a few inches short, which I would think for Alabama State, second in inches isn't that huge of a deal. Kind of opens up the playbook a little bit.
It does, but be careful not to allow Alcorn to do the one thing they do better than anybody else in FCS football: tackle for loss, make it tackle behind the line of scrimmage. I don't think you open up the playbook. I think if you're offensive coordinator Fred Keiss, I think you get the first down right now. Run the ball, safe play, you can pick up positive yards because they cannot afford to have another bad thing happen to them in this half of football.
Alabama State won the meeting last year with Alcorn State 49-30. That was in Montgomery.
49 points. Tells you how Alcorn is bought in defensively, and that's been the biggest improvement. One of the largest turnarounds in the country on the defensive side of the ball.
Second down in inches. Give it right to Cyrus, and he has the first down to the 37-yard line. That's the first down for Alabama State since the second play of the game when they had the 52-yard gain to Bell. See the series history. It's been tight. Alabama State leads 21-19. Hornets won 4 in a row and 10 of 11. Even here in Lorman, Alabama State's won 9 of 16. Cyrus leveled back at the 35 by Dion Robertson, the defensive end, and Corey Williams.
Part of the problem is they're trying to have pulling guards and tackles versus a very quick defensive line. And as you'll see the lineman pulling, the play's being blown up right there, allowing the other outside jersey to come in and make the tackle. I don't know if you can pull guards against this small, quick defensive line for Alcorn State.
Setting up the screen pass to Earl Lucas. He's up to the 41, about 5 yards from a first down, a 3rd and 5 upcoming. Alabama State trying to pick the tempo up a little bit.
Take a look. Take a look at how they're defending Bell. 2 defenders on that side. That's showing respect. Saying somebody's going to catch a ball, but they don't want it to be Bell.
Duhart looks back to set up the screen. Khalid Thomas did not even get back to the line of scrimmage. Hendrick Taylor, nickelback with the tackle. Taylor, number 30, out of Clinton, Louisiana.
And on a normal defense, that play had nice timing. They did a good job of selling the misdirection to the far side of the field. But when the ball traveled, the Braves were quick enough to retreat and make a tackle and limit the yards picked up.
So on to punt again, Preston Clark. They did get a first down on that possession, just their second first down of the game. And a fair catch called for and taken at the 25. 36-yard punt that time for Preston Clark. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Joseph A. Bank. We fit most everyone. JOSbank.com. That is the Medgar Evers Heritage Village. Student residences here on the Alcorn State campus, named for the civil rights icon who played football and graduated class of 52 at Alcorn State.
For years, we always talk about the Steve McNairs and the Marcus Hintons, football players like that. But Medgar Evers, halfback here at Alcorn, showing that he could be a scholar as well as an athlete, doing it the good old-fashioned way back in the 50s.
Ragsdale for a couple of yards. We fly in and out of Jackson, Mississippi, and the airport is named Medgar Evers. Jackson. Well, are you surprised by any of those numbers, Jay?
Yeah, tremendously surprised that Alcorn has 100 yards rushing already, even though you shouldn't be because they rush for 300 yards a game, but versus this group that they're facing and the inability of Alabama State to establish a running game. Shocking.
That's the one that surprises me, the 18 yards rushing for the Hornets. The two defenders ran into each other. That allowed Zarek Rollins extra yardage all the way across the 40. Run down by Antonio Humphrey. Gain is 16.
And they're able to get the wide receivers open in the middle of the field because of the play action passing. Alabama State is so committed to stopping the run that the linebackers are missing their keys and allowing wide receivers to slip behind them.
Ragsdale punishing tackle at the 45. The punishment he put on the defender, Deontay Ponder.
Ragsdale's a tough one, and down here in Mississippi, this is the home of Walter Payton, and he was famous for finishing off runs, and right there, Ragsdale showing you he can finish as well.
Gained 13 on the last carry, there for just a couple inside the 45.
I've seen Kevin Ramsey, the defensive coordinator for Alabama State, for a couple years now. You move the football on him, you pick up a couple first downs, particularly across the 50. He gets a little bit upset. He brings pressure. This is a pressure situation for Alabama State. Don't be surprised to see Courtney Berry, one of his best blitzers, 32 in the middle of your screen, come up the middle with a blitz.
Here he comes. Here comes the throw deep, and he has a man open but overthrows Jordan Payne.
What a great call. There's a chess match going on at a high level down on the football field. They knew that Ramsey had a tendency to blitz once you crossed a certain point of the field. They protected the blitz, went for the home run deep down the middle. That's the weakness in a blitzing defense, and just missed a big play.
Alcorn State, their rankings in the FCS, the scoring offense and defense. I mean, they've got it going on both sides of the football right now, not only tonight. 3rd and 8. Alabama State hasn't converted on a 3rd down. They're 4 of 7 now. 5 of 8 with the first down catch to the 32-yard line.
This is frustrating right now because Alcorn is having success. They're continuing to blitz, and watch the blitz. They're going to bring everybody in here, leaving the middle of the field wide open, replacement football. 3rd and 10 says you should have the ability to play zone defense. No, they haven't had much success playing conventional coverage. Defensive coordinator Ramsey playing aggressive. Alcorn State taking advantage of it. Nice throw from John Gibbs.
A 13-yard pass there to Ladarian Davis puts him over Gibbs over 150 passing yards now on the night at 159. They fake the fly sweep, and he's going deep again, but great defensive positioning and the interception for Marcus Berg, his 3rd pick of the season.
And that's a no-no from John Gibbs. If a team is blitzing you, they want you to throw the fade pattern. They teach their cornerbacks to look quickly. We're going to force them to release it. Great job by Marcus Berg in coverage. Alabama State, the turnover they desperately needed.
5th time that Gibbs has been picked off this year. Alabama State will take over on their own 20 when we come back to Lorman.
Electric QBs headline an ACC battle between NC State and Clemson. Then Texas Tech takes on Tyler Lockett and 23rd-ranked Kansas State. A college football doubleheader kicks.
Saying thank you, Grandpa John. His grandfather, John R. Follett, was a World War II prisoner of war who flew a fighter plane on D-Day. He lives in Eugene, his grandfather, John Follett, but he's now in Fremont, Nebraska with their family members. They're going to watch the game tonight. 4 generations will be watching the game. Grandpa turns 94 this month, and Andy Follett wants to say thank you, Grandpa John, and we thank you. You know, fewer and fewer World War II vets out there.
I want to say thanks as well. Good job.
That's Marcus Berg, who made the interception. Alabama State being attended to on the sideline as the Hornets take over at their own 20.
5 minutes to go. 5 minutes, 47 seconds to go in a half of which you've been thoroughly outplayed. For Alabama State to have an opportunity to have the football, put some points on the board going into the halftime, whether it's 3 or 7, but to make it a 2-score game would be tremendous boost of confidence for the Hornets and Reggie Barlow.
You're right, Jay. They need something, anything.
And the good news is the defense in the last 2 series has figured out how to stop Alcorn State. Now it's a matter of can the offense get in gear.
Go back to Cyrus. And boy, that's back-to-back runs for Malcolm Cyrus to begin this drive with a net of about a yard. And Damon Watkins and Ricky Joseph wrapped him up. Watkins came away with the football, but he was down just a gain of a yard.
Yeah, this is one that they tried the zone block scheme. Watch everybody come this way, but the problem is watch them slip through the crease. Everybody's zone blocking, but if one person misses that run-through runner, tackle for a loss.
Bell's the receiver at the bottom of the screen. 3rd and 8. Duhart going for Bell, and it's broken up at midfield. Quentin Cantu there, the cornerback, but he had help, and he's had help all night out there on Bell, hasn't he?
He has, but he did a good job of playing to his help. And if this throw, you wonder if they go over the top, but look at that. Somebody underneath, one over the top. Have to go someplace else with the football. Bell's a fantastic player, but 2-on-1, the team wins more times than not.
4th 3 and out for the Hornets. Preston Clark, his punt down at the 41-yard line. 4:23 left in this first half.
Shelves across America are still.
Brennan Fitzgerald back in the studio. Coming up in a few minutes at halftime, we'll talk about the battle in Eugene tonight as the Ducks go for revenge against Arizona. Some big matchups in the SEC West and outside the SEC. A lot of ranked teams playing each other as well. Mark and Jay, back to you.
Brendan, thanks very much. Yeah, big weekend for college football here in the state of Mississippi, of course, with Ole Miss, Alabama. Don't forget Mississippi State, A&M, and of course, right here, Alcorn State making a statement. 17-0, and what you were talking about earlier, Alabama State wanted to put up points before the end of the half. Now they have to try to keep Alcorn State from adding on. Ragsdale, for the 2nd straight game, has hurdled an opponent with right over Najee Bright. It's deja vu all over again, Jay Walker, and a SportsCenter top 10 nominee.
We know he's capable of doing it. He did it a week ago, but this time he might have gotten a little bit higher. 2 feet, almost a vertical jump. The scouting report, you knew he had it in him.
Oh, he had to take a nice long look at that.
I wonder when that happens. Does that mean if you've seen him do it the week before and then the next week he does it, did you not think he could jump as high as he jumped the week before?
Rollins picked up 7 on the last play. This is a 2nd down and 3. I'm ready to give you a good look at that run by Ragsdale. He did the same thing to a Southern University defender here on Saturday. Back to him. And falling forward, he's going to have another first down. Brought down by Courtney Berry.
They found a special talent in Ragsdale for what they like to do offensively, which is outside zone, perimeter, running attack. And he's really good at running sideline and then making one play, getting upfield in a hurry with full acceleration and plenty of athleticism. 11 rushes, 98 yards. That's an average. 9 yards a carry, roughly. His average on the season coming in.
It's 9.5. And a career high 125 yards last week against Southern. So on pace to break that with nearly 100 rushing yards here in the first half. Timeout.
Timeout.
Called by Alcorn State.
First charge.
Hey, Jay, give me 5.
30-second timeout.
Well, here they are, the power rankings. And, you know, in golf, what's Saturday called, Mark?
It's moving day.
Moving day. Well, this weekend, it's the moving day in the power rankings. 4 of the top 6 teams, including South Carolina State, are playing each other. South Carolina State on the bubble. Number 5, North Carolina A&T taking on South Carolina State. Somebody's going to move places there. Number 4, Tennessee State Big Blue. What? They've been number 3 all year. Dropped them a spot behind who? Alcorn State number 3. And number 2, I'm just putting that arrow there saying,
Things could change.
The number 1 team is still Wildcats. Brian Jenkins, Bethune-Cookman University. It's moving day. 2's taking on 3, 5 taking on 6. Exciting week of HBCU football, and the power rankings are going to get all shook up come next week.
Well, we'll have our HBCU breakdown at halftime. Stick around for that as well, and more on HBCU football. And Alabama State fans, I think, are happy with you because they know this game isn't over yet. You're keeping them number 2. All the scoring came in the first quarter. All for Alcorn State. Now they have a first down at the 31 of the Hornets. Aaron Baker. He's a low, 235 pounds, run out by Deontay Ponder. The 3-headed monster is what the Alcorn State offensive coordinator Willie Simmons likes to call those 3 running backs, and they are monsters.
They're big ones. Ragsdale and Williams can be similar backs, and then when you bring in the muscle, Aaron Baker at 235 pounds, when he's in the game, they're not trying to do the outside run play. When he's in the game, they're trying to run downhill, straight ahead.
There he goes. Brought down at the 13-yard line by Courtney Berry.
They know when he's in the game, he's going to run in between the tackles. And this is just, hey, what do we got? This is mano-a-mano right now. Alcorn trying to take the heart of Alabama State.
He was down when Rollins caught it, so the play dead there. He'll actually lose a yard.
Makes the catch, and when he makes the catch, knees on the ground, this is not professional football. When he touches the ground in collegiate ranks, you're down automatically.
Lost a few. Second down at 13. Ragsdale back in the game, and he gets the carry, pushed down at the 13-yard line by Edward Mosley, the left end.
And you'll see Alcorn not in a rush right now with less than a minute and 20 seconds to go and before the half. They're going to make sure if Alabama State gets this ball back, there won't be much time left on the clock. Good play call management by the Braves.
Ragsdale running left to the 5, inside the 5, bumped into his own man, lost the football.
What a great run, making Courtney Berry miss, but he might have lost that ball.
Officials still trying to figure out what's going on at the bottom of the pile here, and they say he does turn it over to Alabama State. Jay, I think he was headed to the end zone, but ran in to his own guy.
His own guy. Knocked the ball out, and great recognition by the Hornets to swarm on it and win the wrestling match.
He ran into Jarvis Turner, and Courtney Berry wound up at the bottom of the pile with the recovery for Alabama State. This could be huge for the Hornets.
I mean, an opportunity that he was going for a score to put him up 24-0 at halftime. Instead, it's 17-0. And
well, second Alcorn State turnover. This is their first fumble. Ragsdale's held to his feet. Last week, Jay, they had 6 fumbles, lost 4 of them.
And there was an impressive victory over Southern University, but the one thing that was cautionary was the putting the football on the turf. They did it in special teams. They did it with the running back core. Imagine that. That's how dominant they were last Saturday.
And still won by 40 points with that.
40 points, but that may cost you. A good team will make you pay. And I believe Alabama State is counting their blessings right now with that.
And Ragsdale's shaken up a bit as well after the hit from his own man. So the last 2 Alcorn State possessions have resulted in an interception and now a fumble, 2 turnovers. Well, Jay, you and I will head from here to Atlanta for the Atlanta Football Classic. 50 seconds remaining in this first half. I guess right now, for Alabama State, the question is, don't give up a safety here. At least get out of the half. Still down 17-0.
That timeout was called by Jay Hobson. He wanted them to take a look at the turnover, but I think from the angles we saw, it's pretty clear. He fumbled.
So we'll take another look at it while we have an opportunity. And he's headed to the end zone. It looks like he's in.
Ball's out. Knee's not down at all. And actually very fortunate that that ball wasn't recovered in the end zone, because then Alabama State would get the ball on the 20-yard line for the touchback. So this is pretty clear cut. But wow, as good as Alcorn has played. And think about on Saturday when they played Southern, the one thing they didn't do was finish off the first half. They were winning 28-7 and then allowed Southern University to get back in the game.
The play stands as called. The ball was fumbled prior to breaking the goal line. Alabama State recovered the ball. First down. Alcorn State has been charged their 3rd and final timeout and their final and last challenge.
I guess Jay Hobson thought, what a roll of the dice. You're not going to take the timeouts with you into the next half. So let's just take a look and see if maybe he made it over the goal line before fumbling. I guess is what Jay Hobson was hoping for there.
And if you had 2 timeouts instead of just 1 remaining, then maybe you value that timeout a little bit more to try and back them up. But Alabama State, 1 snap, 1 yard gain from having the ability to take this ball in the halftime and regroup.
Starting field position, as you can see, has not been good for Alabama State in this first half. Too hard to throw out of his own end zone. He's going to take a strike for Bell, who's single covered, and he makes the play. He is down in midfield. Quentin Cantu had the coverage.
Stop everything. Hold the pressure. What a great play call. What a gutsy play call by Fred Kice and Reggie Barlow of Alabama State. One-on-one with your best athlete, and look at Bell go up and make a play. He's the impact player.
That's a 48-yard completion. Remember, he had a 52-yard catch on the first possession of the game. That's 2 catches for 100 yards.
Yeah, but see, now you take the momentum. You take the momentum. You have 3 timeouts. You're controlling the clock. 30
Alabama
seconds,
State.
3 timed out, plenty of time. But watch him, the concentration
2nd charge
on the catch there. But I would want to continue to control the clock. Keep my timeouts. They got the long bomb.
Well, you still have a chance to purchase one at the
they do a timeout now. We've seen during the review.
Reset the game.
Did he catch this ball? It's 34
moving. Seconds.
Whoa. Tough to tell.
A little bit. Alcorn already did the challenge, so they cannot make the challenge.
The Alcorn State University Foundation on the web.
Now the replay official can take another peek, but is there enough to overturn this? This is the best angle. See when he comes down. Wow, what a catch. Well, what a, right there. Does he still have the hand under it?
Close enough to say.
Alabama State has been charged their first timeout.
Close enough to say that it wouldn't be anything to overturn it. So I think they let it go. But let's just keep it. Let's just make sure. Let's see what happens if Alabama State doesn't find themselves in a position needing that 3rd timeout.
So the 2 plays they've thrown to Bell, they've picked up 100 yards. They have 21 other plays in this first half, Jay, that have gone for a total of 44 yards.
And now they go back to bracket coverage on Bell, meaning you must go someplace else with the football.
And he's going for Bell. His defender fell down, and he's overthrown at the 5.
See, I don't like the selection by Duhart where to go. Now, he was fortunate that Cantu fell, but they had 1 person deep in Cantu, and they had a safety underneath. That's bracket coverage. They want you to throw the football there. See, somebody's underneath, and he just got lucky that Cantu fell because he was in pretty good position to play defense on that.
If Thomas and Cyrus in as the backs, Duhart's got to get rid of it. Coming back to the football at the 35 is Gamble, but it completes.
This has to be frustrating for Daniel Duhart. Alcorn rushed 2 defenders on that last play, yet he was pressured to get rid of the football. The offensive line does not recognize where Alcorn State is bringing the pressure.
So 3rd and 10. Hornets still on their side of the 50. They're at their own 49.
Bell is out of the game right now.
Sets up the screen pass. Earl Lucas at the 46. Gonna have to use, well,
have to call timeout.
And it's 4th down.
So Earl Lucas happy to get him back. He's their slot receiver. They say he's extremely quick, difficult to block. He missed the first 4 games of the year, came back last week, and they think he could be an added weapon to go along with Bell.
From the Montgomery area, he's out of Prattville. Well, regardless of whether they win or lose here, take a look at what's ahead for Alabama State. And to go to Prairie View, they play in Birmingham. You know, they're in a stretch right now, Alabama State. They go 6 weeks between home games of actually playing back at ASU Stadium.
Yep. The game in Birmingham, neutral site game, that's the classic. And even if they are fortunate enough to win this game, everything revolves around the classic down there between those 2 teams. And we're going to see Southern and Grambling. Watch out for Grambling. Grambling's going to spoil somebody's plans this year.
4th down, Duhart's pass to Bell.
Short.
May have just turned it over on downs with just 4 seconds left. I'm really spotting this. Well, he got a really fortunate spot there. So now they're going to have one more chance. Just throw it towards the end zone.
Let's see where you see the pylon there. Catches it.
Well, he stepped. Okay, he stepped back, but got the benefit of the doubt with a spot. So with just 4 seconds left.
Rolled up for grabs.
Duhart heaves it in the direction of Bell, incomplete. Now there is a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Oding, number 60, offense. That penalty is declined. Halftime.
So that takes us to the end of the first half. It was a first quarter that was dominated by Alcorn State. All 17 of their points scored in that first quarter. It's halftime here in Lorman, Mississippi. Now let's send it to the studio with Brendan Fitzgerald and Charles Arbuckle.
All right, thanks, guys. Good start for Alcorn State. The Braves up to a 17-0 lead at home in Southwest Athletic Conference play. Both these teams unbeaten in conference. And Darian Ragsdale has 106 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Alcorn State has a 17-0 lead. Back out to Mark Neely and Jay Walker with the HBCU breakdown.
And only 26 yards rushing for Malcolm Cyrus in that first half. Brendan, thanks very much. Welcome back to Lorman, Mississippi for our HBCU breakdown. Jay, you and I will be in Atlanta in just a couple of days. In fact, heading there tomorrow for the Atlanta Football Classic. For the second straight year, South Carolina State takes on North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, what a class it's going to be right now. 2 of the teams that are ranked in the top 6 of HBCU football. When you talk about the Atlanta Classic, this was a very physical game last year. South Carolina State came out victorious. But this year, North Carolina A&T, they're playing some of the best football in the country right now. Dynamic running back Tariq Cohen. But when you think about South Carolina State, an offense that's physical, great running running back play. It's going to be a classic down in Atlanta for the Atlanta Classic.
Looking forward to that from the Georgia Dome on Saturday. Now here tonight in Norman, kind of settling some stuff in the SWAC East Division between these two teams. But what about the SWAC West Division? Things kind of really up for grabs right now.
Completely up for grabs. I have no idea who's going to win it. Right now you've got Broderick Fobbs, a team that have turned around the Grambling State football program. They're playing good football, but can they finish it out? Texas Southern got off to a great start, but they were manhandled last week by Alabama State. And then there's Southern University, who was manhandled by Alcorn State. If you ask me, when it comes to the SWAC West Division, I think it's going to come down to whoever wins the Bayou Classic on Thanksgiving weekend. Something's brewing special down in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what's going on in the SWAC. You know, we started talking South Carolina State and North Carolina A&T. That got me thinking, Jay, what else is going on in the MEAC?
Well, there's some quality football teams taking place right now in the MEAC. In the top 5 power rankings, you've got North Carolina A&T, who we talked about before. Rob Broadway has his best bunch. When healthy, they can play with anybody in the country. But the pride of all HBCU football is Brian Jenkins, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. They're continuing to win. They fought off a tough battle versus Florida Tech last weekend. These two teams are some of the best in all of FCS football.
Yeah, Bethune-Cookman, as long as you're the champ until somebody knocks you off.
To be the man, you have to beat the man, Mark.
And they are the man.
They're the man.
Right now, that's the HBCU breakdown from Norman, Mississippi. Guys, let's send it back to you in the studio. Brendan?
All right, thanks. Let's go around campus, some news and notes, and starting in mid.
ESPN College Football Primetime presented by McDonald's. Getting ready for the start of the second half from Norman, Mississippi. Alcorn State scored on their first 3 possessions of the game. They lead it 17-0. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. Jay, really, it was the defense that set the tone for Alcorn State.
Alcorn State swarming the football. They lead the nation in tackle for losses, and they've got an athletic running back that we talked about in Darian Ragsdale. Averages 9.5 yards per carry. He did not disappoint here in the first half. He was responsible for a touchdown, and then they brought in the power back, Aaron Baker. It's running back by committee here at Alcorn, and Alabama State has struggled.
Just 4 first downs in the first half for Alabama State, and they had 20 rushing yards. And Alcorn State, 329 total yards, even though they turned it over twice. So really, it could be a lot uglier for Alabama State than it is now.
Yeah, they have to protect the football.
Well, Ragsdale, 106 yards in the first half. Remember last week, actually 5 days ago, Saturday against Southern, he had a career-high 125, and also did this, hurdling the defender for Southern. And good things come in pairs. First half tonight, what's he do? He does the same thing, hurdling an Alabama State defender.
Somewhere Southern safety Blake Monroe was back in Baton Rouge saying, see, it wasn't just me. He does that. He's got a knack for doing it. Ragsdale's really done a good job of making electrifying runs outside. And I think the story of the first half of Alabama State is the lack of the impact of Malcolm Cyrus. Alcorn State's done a great job of holding the leading rusher in the conference to just 30 yards in the first half, well below his productivity. He averages of 140 yards per game.
Yeah, he's averaging 2.6 yards per carry. And normally, coming into this game, he was averaging just over 7 yards a carry. Alcorn State will get the football to begin the second half. Adam Shepard, freshman out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, kicks off for Alabama State. Jaborian McKenzie and Jarvis Turner back deep for Alcorn State. Here we go into half number 2 in this SWAC East battle. Both these teams unbeaten in conference play coming in, and Turner's going to take it out from about 3 yards deep. Tripped up at the 19-yard line.
I'm pretty sure the folks in Montgomery, Alabama are going to take a look at their football team, how they come out to start the second half. I think the first 2 possessions are going to be crucial. If Alabama State's going to have any chance of getting in this football game, they must come up with a stop, which has been very difficult for them on John Gibbs. You see the numbers, very effective night. The 1 interception was thrown in the end zone, jump ball.
Gibbs also ran 4 times for a net of 29 yards in that first half. See those last 3 possessions for Alcorn State, no points, 2 turnovers in those 3. And Williams with the first carry, Anthony Williams the third. He was carrying a tackler. Courtney Berry actually able to bring him down.
That's a great run by Anthony Williams. Ragsdale's been achieving the headlines, but Williams letting you know he's the senior starting running back for this Brave football team. And in open space, very difficult to bring down. He has 5 touchdowns on the season and 8 yards a carry average.
Went for 11 on first down. Keeping it, John Gibbs. About 2 yards. Right in, Chris Terry jumping on his back to pull him down. Well, take a look at the SWAC rankings as far as who might be the beast of the East. Looking like the Braves.
And it's playing out in front of us. I mean, there's a reason why they're number 1 in all these categories. And Alabama State, very good football team, but they're number 2. And right now, when you look at it on the field, the numbers are saying that number 1 is number 1 for a reason.
The blitz came and a quick strike to the 40-yard line to Charles Hughes. He's going to have another first down for Alcorn State.
Yeah, quick slant. Every time they bring a blitz, they just replace where the linebacker came from. Great job by Gibbs of delivering the ball quickly to Hughes.
Gibbs keeping, has a blocker, uses that for a nice run into Alcorn, or into Alabama State territory, a 14-yard run with a 6'6" quarterback.
And great job of setting up the block by Jeff Reno. You're going to see Reno come all the way around here. This is the right tackle coming all the way across the formation to seal the edge. You don't see that too often. You must be pretty athletic. Good job by Gibbs of setting him up, allowing him to get in the way, and then pick up the first down.
Reno at 304 pounds can get in the way.
And left tackles normally don't have to cover that much real estate, but showing you the athleticism.
Ragsdale's first carry of the half goes for negative yardage thanks to Chris Terry. Terry is a senior out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Looks like Mitchell on the tackle.
A second down and 11 after the loss.
Now this is where Alabama State has to be able to play sound fundamental defense without relying on the blitz.
Gibbs trying to run through, but Roderick Henderson was not going to let him go. Henderson had him by the jersey, and Gibbs could not get away, though. There's Roderick, who's 6'3", about 350-pounder. He's out of Montgomery. Murphy High School. Started, though, his collegiate career at Southern Miss. Third down and 10. Gibbs finding his receiver. Zarek Rollins, a first down all the way up to the 30 of Alabama State, tackled by Marcus Bird.
Best throw of the day from Gibbs. Stand tall in the pocket. Know you're going to get hit, but throw to the soft spot of the zone coverage. Delivers a strike. Zarek Rollins. Over the past 2 weeks, we've seen John Gibbs probably play his best football of his collegiate career.
So they convert on third down and 10. Keep the drive going.
We've been here before and have not finished off drives. So now let's see if Alabama State can come up with one more stop back up in their own territory.
Ragsdale for a couple. Was that probably the message at halftime from Jay Hobson and his staff? Hey, nice start to the football game, but didn't finish the drives the last 3 times they had the football.
Yeah, protect the football and don't take points off of the board, which the Braves did to end the first half.
Now, Ragsdale fumbled just before reaching the goal line when he ran into his own man, Turner, that coughed it up. That cost him 7 points late in that half. Gibbs options to Baker, and Baker upended at the 22 by Najee Bright.
What a great block by the fullback. Look at number 42, left side of your screen. Down he goes. Get him outside. That allows Baker to get to the outside. See number 42, Young. Great chop block. Sorry, it's not allowed to be called a chop block. Good cut block.
There you go. 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Give it to the big man, Baker, who has the first down to the 18-yard line.
This is impressive. I mean, keep in mind, in the first half, Alcorn State won the time of possession 19.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. That's almost 2-1. How do they start the second half? They're already 5 minutes into a drive and counting. That Alabama State defense has been on the field for a long time tonight.
5 first downs on this possession. Alabama State, Justin Mitchell, the right tackle.
Wilson on the tackle. Second down for the Braves.
Reggie Barlow's Hornets fell behind quickly. 3 possessions into the football game for Alcorn State. They're up 17-0. Williams jumps up to about the 15. A pickup of about 3 for Anthony Williams III.
They're trying everything defensively right now. They went to a bear front there, which bear front means they covered the center and the 2 guards, left the tackles open with linebackers on the outside. Alabama State struggling to find the answer to the running attack of Alcorn.
3rd and a long 6 from the 15 of Alabama State. Incomplete, no flag. Davis was the intended receiver, covered there by Bradley Street. And they're going to bring out the field goal unit. Hayden McCraney, who had a big week on Saturday, was named SWAC Specialist of the Week. Against Southern, he was 8 for 8 in his point average and had a 49-yard average per punt. Made a 47-yard field goal to begin the scoring tonight, which was his long for the year. This is a 31-yard attempt off the left hash. Plenty of distance and knocks it home.
Field goal by McCraney.
So McCraney makes it look easy from 31 yards, and Alcorn State picks up 3 on their first possession of the second half and lead 20-0. There goes Ragsdale, headed for the end zone. Touchdown. That is tonight's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. How about Alcorn State on the first possession of the second half? 14 plays, went 67 yards, and they chewed up over 6.5 minutes off the clock, Chase. 6:42 to be exact.
Expanding their lead in the time of possession battle to now 26 minutes to 10 minutes. Championship quality, caliber performance.
That short kick. 27. Let's revisit our impact players so far. You know, Bell, they haven't thrown to him a lot, but he's been productive.
He's been a force. He's 100 yards. He's been the reason they've had to change up schematically. Courtney Berry, a couple missed tackles, but they've been on the field for a long time. Charles Hughes done a good job really catching the football, being a factor on the outside along with Damon Watkins, number 33, the inside linebacker for Alcorn. 6 tackles, 1 sack. I'd say the impact players have showed up, and Hughes has had some timely catches for Alcorn as well.
Ooh, well, that was Warren Gatewood, the cornerback, who applied the hit right after the catch was made. A little too much. The flag came out.
24, Deadwood on that tackle.
Extracurricular activity over on the sideline, and so often it's the second person that gets caught. Lucas pushed out of bounds, thought he was shoved a little hard, and he gave a shove to Gatewood, and Gatewood got caught.
Personal foul. Number 3, offense. Hit to the head. 15 yards from the end of the run. Second down. Correction. The penalty will be enforced half the distance.
You're right on top of it. Second guy, Lucas, who was the receiver on the play, gets caught.
And it's your first possession of the second half of the game when you're trailing on the road. Football team cannot afford to make those type of mistakes.
So they're playing behind the chains. It's 2nd and 25. Fake that reverse, and a lot of running room out there for Malcolm Cyrus. And he has a first down and more. Still on his feet. Brought down at the 46-yard line. Anthony Williams eventually tracking him down, but what a play, what a run for Cyrus. We haven't seen a whole lot of this from him tonight.
The misdirection, fake the run to Cyrus, fake the reverse, get the ball to him in space, and not going down with the first tackler.
32-yard gain on that last play. Here's Bell, so his 4th catch tonight. Takes him to the 45 of Alcorn State.
They've got tempo right now. I like the decision to speed up the tempo of the offense right now. Hurry up, fast-paced, no-huddle offense.
Have Bell in the slot at the top of your screen, and hand off to Cyrus. One or two.
It's tough. Cyrus, he will take on a defensive end, a lineman, linebacker. He has the ability to hit the hole hard in a hurry.
Well, the 2 number 22s for each team. Ragsdale winning that battle right now with 107 yards and a touchdown.
Cyrus is in catch-up mode right now, but we can tell right away clearly the objective in the second half is to get Cyrus his touches. We talked about at halftime. Cyrus had 30 yards of offense on the ground in the first half. He's too good a running back for that to happen to. They're going to force him the football.
In the subject line to alumni affairs at Alcorn.
Going to bring out the chains
to stay connected.
all the way to the near side of the field here. So great look. He'll be the first to know if it's a first down or not, and it is by plenty. Right. 2 lengths of the football.
And the tough part about that is Alabama State was going no huddle.
Right.
They were trying to get tempo, trying to speed up things. Well, maybe a little home cooking with the chain game. Hey, let's measure something that's really not that close and slow down whatever tempo and momentum Alabama State tried to establish.
So they have the first down.
One-on-one with Bell. Oh, they missed it.
Cyrus. Pretty good play, though. He has a first down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. But you were looking for the home run ball to Bell.
No, Bell had a clean release off the line of scrimmage. Cyrus is there. You want to read this bottom up in this type of game, but had he looked at the second level throw, Bell with the clean release had a touchdown.
Cyrus went for 19 there. Now a running play for Cyrus. Battles his way to the 16-yard line for 8 yards.
And you see the running concept has changed. They're going with the power run game up the middle instead of trying to force the runs on the perimeter. Hard running by Cyrus in between the tackles.
Cyrus tackled by the ankles that time. Darian Moody, junior from Columbus, Ohio. 3rd and short.
I think you have to continue to run the ball in between the tackles, even though that was a good stop by Alcorn the last play.
I think they have the free play and take a shot into the end zone for Bell, incomplete. And if it goes the way we think it will here, they're going to have the first down via penalty.
Offside.
Having a few issues with Rod Holloway's mic tonight, but you get the call there. It's offside against Alcorn State, so it is a first down for Alabama State.
The moment Duhart realized it was a free play, who did he look for?
Number 10.
Bell.
Did he look anywhere else?
That's pretty smart. That's where you get a free play. That's where you try and take advantage of it.
Well, it's not first and goal. They can't pick up a first down at the 1. Too hard to Thomas. Dropped it. He really didn't have a whole lot there anyway with the defender close by. But
disruptive. The outside linebacker, Corey Williams, for Alcorn, able to get in the backfield, beat the tackle off the initial line of scrimmage, and really forced Duhart to get rid of the football, not allowing that play to develop. Double tight end look for Alabama State with Barnes and Archie. Look for some misdirection, counter run play to Cyrus.
Duhart. Oh, there was pushing at the tail end of that. Gamble, intended receiver, Quentin Cantu, gave him a little shove when the ball was in the air.
Yeah, how is that not a penalty? The ball was in the air, and clearly, we'll take a look. Once the ball is in the air, pushed down, wrestled down, maybe they're letting them play tonight.
Let him play there. It's 3rd down and 10. So big play here for Reggie Barlow's Hornets. Is it a point in the game if you don't convert? Actually, the first down marker's at the 1 anyway. And they're going to take a chance into the end zone again for Bell. And there's the flag that time.
That may be offensive.
Well, Cantu jumped up.
They had 2 defenders over there, and I believe Bell realized this was going to be an interception.
Number 21, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
Well, officials hate it when I use this term. Is that a little makeup for the last play?
Possibly. I mean, they buzzed nicely underneath here. Look.
He's trying to elevate there though, and Cantu was on his back. So yeah, I see that. I see that there. That was legit. And battling. Wow. C.J. Morgan denying Malcolm Cyrus.
Cyrus to carry Morgan.
What a hit. C.J. Morgan, the nickel linebacker. One-on-one in the hole. No, sir.
Mano a mano. That was a battle there. One of the jumbo package with the 2 tight ends. Give it to Cyrus. He's into the end zone. Jay Walker, we've got a football game again as Alabama State has found the end zone for the first time tonight, courtesy of Malcolm Cyrus.
They responded. Pretty much the season was on the line. Malcolm Cyrus finds a hole, leaves his feet, tumbles into the end zone. What a clutch drive for Alabama State offensively, showing some heart, not going away quietly.
5th rushing touchdown of the year for Cyrus. He also has a TD catch, so that's his 7th overall touchdown of the season, and the point after for Preston Clark. An 11-play drive, ate up 71 yards, capped off by Malcolm Cyrus, and the Hornets back in it. They trail at 27.
Boy, you gonna be in.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Let's look at the university timeline. It's in the atrium leading into the campus bookstore. It's a nice rundown of history of the school, including a conference championship team, Muhammad Ali. Alcorn A&M became Alcorn State in 1974. And Aaron McNair, finalist for the Heisman back in 94. With a touchdown, Malcolm Cyrus has made it 20-7.
How about that? What's the game plan at halftime? Get the ball to Malcolm Cyrus.
Looked by Ragsdale from the 1. Ragsdale to about the 25-yard line. Well, now for Alabama State, Jay, it's kind of onus back on their defense.
This is is what we thought we would see. Long drives, some good defensive stops, and bands battling. Alabama State. And getting into it with the sounds of dynamite, pageantry, and this is what you expect when you have two good football teams vying for first place in the conference.
186 passing yards for Gibbs, came in averaging 159 through the air, so he's already exceeded that. Over 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gibbs gives it to Williams. Dontrell Silman and Courtney Berry combined on the tackle for Alabama State.
I'll tell you, the intensity level just picked up a notch. They are throwing leather down there. The defensive line for Alabama State just completely manhandled Alcorn on that play. Courtney Berry finishing off the play with the tackle, but things have picked up a notch.
Jay, who apparently played when they still wore leather helmets.
That phrase is never leaving football.
To the 32. Williams stopped by Andre Wilson.
Big key, big key, big key.
This wouldn't sound as intimidating saying they're throwing plastic.
No. You know, industrial grade plastic doesn't sound as good as leather.
Big play here.
Yep.
If you're Alabama State, do you blitz the quarterback? And I think if you're Alcorn State, you think, you know what, anticipate the blitz. Maybe look for a slant pattern from one of your wide receivers to replace a blitzing linebacker.
Send Williams in motion on 3rd and 3. And a keeper, and the quarterback, Gibbs, has it by plenty up to the 45-yard line. The design runs in the 6'6" quarterback.
Yeah, that's not fair. You know, they bring their 367-pound guard, Isaac Sampson, around to act as a lead blocker for a 6'6", 225-pound quarterback. Too much for Alabama State.
Ragsdale picks up 3 or 4. And a helmet lost.
Told you it intensified. Down on the field, they're throwing leather.
Jonathan Scott, the right guard, who has to come out for a play since he lost his helmet. Three receivers up top.
One-on-one coverage across the board means they're going to bring pressure. They're going to blitz.
And Gibbs is going to take off and have more room and may win a race to the end zone. Inside the 10, diving for the pylon, and he is in. Touchdown. 53-yard run for the quarterback, John Gibbs.
Well, if you're going to bring double-A gap blitz with Darius Washington and Courtney Berry, all you have to do is get to the second level. And we talked earlier, Gibbs a little bit faster than opposing defenses give him credit for because of the long stride, able to take it the distance for the touchdown run.
So Gibbs now has 112 total rushing yards with that 53-yard run there. It's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Wait for a new football. Now they spot it.
We're going to Houston.
Already thinking about the SWAC championship game.
That's his hometown.
That's right.
So I'm sure when the season started, he had Houston, Texas going back home on his mind.
Craney, did he sneak that in? No, went left. So he misses an extra point. And it's 26-7, but John Gibbs, he's trying to run all the way back home to Texas. 3:04 to play in the third quarter, and it's 26-7 Alcorn State.
Cheer for the stumbles.
Needless to say, I think it's pretty clear they have to go undefeated if they want to hold on to that. It's going to be very interesting this New Year's.
It is indeed. And, you know, even the fallout from 4 teams that make the college football playoff. What happens after that is uncharted waters as well in a lot of instances. And wow. Tough play for Alabama State on the return. Jahad Coleman couldn't handle it. It bounces off his chest and out of bounds at the 7-yard line. You know, really the West has been the dominant division in the SWAC. You look at the last 6 championship games. Southern last year. Is this the year that the East Division, look at these 2 teams, especially Alcorn State, where they're going right now, can they upset that West train?
I think the answer is yes. Clearly yes. Overwhelming yes. I think the 2 best teams in the conference are coming from this Eastern Division. And when the West won, you know, Grambling was a powerhouse at the time. They were very dominant, Rob Broadway coached teams. And the times when you did not have Grambling and Southern in there representing the West, when you had Texas Southern and Prairie View in there, East could not take advantage. And last year, Jackson State was favored over Southern in that championship game. But Southern found a way to pull it out.
Cyrus tackled for a loss by Corey Williams, inside linebacker. Here's the way the East Division standings look coming into tonight. So if Alcorn State, granted, we got a lot of football to play here. If Alcorn State were to win it, you're looking at 3-0 and 3-1 in conference for Alabama State, but it really would put the Hornets behind the 8 ball, wouldn't it? I mean, they really have to somehow make up 2 games because they not own the head-to-head.
Yeah, but you have to ask yourself, who can you see beating this football team we're looking at?
Lucas, he's wrapped up. Devon Francois, number 23. Senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
3rd down.
Well, it didn't start out well this drive with the special teams mishap. With Coleman, the ball bouncing off his chest, and right now it's drive going in the wrong direction. Mario Bell. He's at the bottom of your screen. From his end zone on 3rd and 10, the pass is wide and incomplete, looking for Jameer Hanna, who has 10 catches on the year but does not have a catch yet tonight.
Show you how confused that they are on their protection. You know, they're not used to the quickness. Watch the running back. Watch Cyrus. He's going to miss the block. He lets a linebacker with a full head of steam run right by him and hit the quarterback. And we talked about it all day. They have really struggled with this different schematic that Alcorn State brings to the table on a regular basis with their defense.
5th 3 and out. A little bit of a fumble there, but recovered by McKenzie. Well, coming up, 10:30 Eastern time. We're about a half hour away from Arizona against 2nd-ranked Oregon. Anu Solomon, Arizona quarterback, redshirt freshman, and Marcus Mariota. Is he your favorite right now for the Heisman?
I think he is. And I think it's Thursday nights, which help solidify Heisman Trophy candidacy. You know, it goes back years when Ty Detmer won a key Thursday night game. When we play on Thursday night, most of the country's watching. So they get an opportunity to take a hard look at them. So play your best football and take advantage of the situation, which I'm sure the Ducks are planning on Mariota doing.
Breaking out a Ty Detmer Thursday night game. That's going back a ways, partner.
He beat the University of Miami on Thursday.
Yeah. No, it was a big game, no doubt.
Yeah.
Going back a few decades. Second down and 8 from the Alabama State 40. Gibbs. Boy, they were all tangled up over there.
That was miscommunication. Zarek Rollins was blocking, thinking it was a running play. And he did not run a route. Gibbs wanted to take advantage of the one-on-one matchup.
He and Marcus Berg were wrapped up, and nobody could make a play on the football. 3rd and 8 with a minute left in this 3rd quarter, Jay. I'm going to say this is a play right here Alabama State defense has to have.
Well, all night on plays they've had to have, they haven't been able to make the stop.
They do that time and nearly get a pick. Berg had one earlier. In fact, he even had a teammate in the vicinity. That was closer to 2 Hornets than it was the intended Braves receiver.
Trying to throw the skinny post, and the receiver fell down. You have to make that interception if you're Berg. I understand your safety's coming over and you're worried about getting hit. The receiver fell down out of the break. If he holds on to that football, some room to run.
First punt of the night for Alcorn State punter Hayden McCraney, who's also the place kicker and kickoff guy. Gets that away. Down at the 21-yard line. 19-yard punt. Let's look at our national headlines. Devin Gardner's going to start at quarterback. Of course, controversy this week at Michigan. Things starting to heat up a little bit in a bad way for Coach Hope. Dave Dorn apologized for his post-game remarks, accusing Florida State of faking injuries in the game against North Carolina State. Hey, we're right in the heart of what's going on in college football. The Magnolia State madness. You have Texas A&M and Starkville. Alabama's in Oxford against Ole Miss. Game day's up in Ole Miss at the Grove for the first time ever this Saturday.
Game Day SEC Network game day is there. All eyes on the Magnolia State.
Duhart going for his guy Bell. Off the fingertips.
Normally when we say you want to make a team one-dimensional, you know, that means take away the run or take away the pass. Alcorn State has made Alabama State one-dimensional, and that's only attempting to get the ball to DeMario Bell. I mean, when you can have them continue to force the ball to Bell as their only main threat, that's not the one-dimensional that you want to have, particularly when you have a great running back like Malcolm Cyrus on your team.
Cyrus running there for 6.
Looks like
third down and 4.
Third down.
Right back to the line goes the Hornets. Cyrus flag. He's about a yard shy of the first down, but
Cyrus to carry near the 30.
flag down anyway for our referee Rod Holloway. Block below the waist. Well, yeah, they have a decision to make here. You know, if
you take it.
You going to push them back?
Yeah, you have to push them back, because if you don't, Alabama State, they're a little bit desperate right now. They go for 1 yard.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 60 and number 74, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
I'd go for it. You're on the road. You're down by a lot. It's 4th and 1. I don't know.
Thought they'd roll the dice there?
I thought they would.
Damian Love and Matthew Bates, the left guard and left tackle, were the 2 that were called for the chop block. Well, wait a minute here. Well, they were going to punt it, but the whistle before the snap makes it appear that Alcorn State received a timeout. Clock's still running. They're going to need to stop that. Looking like Alcorn State picked up the timeout. We've not yet come to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Alcorn. First charge, timeout, second half. 30-second timeout.
Well, it looked like Alcorn State, or I should say Alabama State, was going to punt it anyway. Let's do this just to get an idea where the clock.
Reset the game clock to 16 seconds.
Reset it back to 16. But now, if you're Alabama State, you start reconsidering in their huddle over there at their sideline.
I'm here in the booth, and there's a reason why I'm here in the booth. I don't have to live with this decision, but I mean, all indications have shown right now, going into the 4th quarter, the clock is not going to be your friend. And Alcorn State, although they've been stopped on a couple of drives, they've only punted the football once this whole football game. 4th and 1, you have to tell your team at a certain point, if we can't get 1 yard, we're not going to win this football game. We won't have a chance. And I would not give Alcorn State the opportunity to take some more time off this clock, down by 19 points.
Preston Clark's punts and the fair catch taken by Anthony Williams. 39-yard punt for Preston Clark with no return.
And I don't fault Reggie Barlow for not going for it, because things just haven't gone well, and maybe your special teams can give you a spark sometime, but you do have to take it for what it is. I mean, if you can't gain that yard, it's unconventional. The other team would have got the ball back on the 30-yard line. Okay, maybe you hold them to a field goal, but I just don't think you can allow Alcorn State to hold the football. You can stop and control it by just gaining 1 yard. We'll see how it plays out.
Jay, what I'm hearing you say is for Alabama State to have a legitimate chance to come back and win the game, they needed to go for it on 4th down.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ragsdale with a run. That takes him to midfield. A 17-yard run for Ragsdale.
You're not going to come back in this football game if Alcorn State has a football. That's why I think you do unconventional. You go against the grain, and 4th and 1, just 1 yard, you take a chance. Otherwise, it's going to be a long 4th quarter.
That takes us to the end of quarter number 3. Alabama State did get on the board with a Malcolm Cyrus 1-yard touchdown run, but Gibbs answered that for Alcorn State. McCraney also had a field goal. We're headed to the 4th. 26-7. The Braves lead the Hornets.
Brad Keselowski showing.
Brendan Charles, thanks very much. I guess nobody from Hawaii has ever won the Heisman Trophy, right? So Marcus Mariota has a chance. Being from the 50th state.
Yeah.
We start the 4th quarter. 26-7, Alcorn State leading. They have the football, and Ragsdale, who has a new career high now in rushing. That's a gain of 5, so he is now up to 133 yards. He set his previous career high 5 days ago on the same field against Southern when he had 125 yards.
And right now, I believe yardage is not the key. They want to make sure he holds on to the football. Alabama State's coming in on that desperate time. They need a turnover desperately. I think it's time you tell the team, go for the strip, sacrifice a couple of yards.
Ragsdale is another 1st down. It appears up to the 40. You know, they had the 6 fumbles last week. They lost 4 of the fumbles. But you look at the turnovers they've committed 2. One was the interception, so obviously that's not a fumble. The other, which was a fumble, was caused by their own guy.
On the 1 yard line, going in. So that cost them points, and they still have some fine-tuning to do offensively, protecting the football. Other than that, thoroughly impressed with the job they've been able to do.
What were we just talking about? Loose football, and Alabama State picks it up. Bradley Street recovers it for the Hornets. Well, that is exactly what Alabama State needed.
Yep. We said ball security's been something that they have not done a good job. Mix up on the quarterback exchange between Baker and Gibbs. What a gift given to the Alabama State defense. Now can the offense capitalize? I mean, this is unbelievable. This can't happen. The only thing you tell everybody is protect the football. I'm going to put that on the quarterback, Gibbs. If you have 2 hands on the ball, you can at any time just tuck the ball from his stomach, pull it away, secure it. Poor ball security by John Gibbs.
Can Alabama State take advantage? Earl Lucas stepped out back at the 49, 48-yard line. This is the best starting field position of the night for Alabama State. That's been another underlying story in this game, has been the great starting field position for Alcorn State and relatively poor lack of starting field position tonight for Alabama State.
And get Malcolm Cyrus involved. Give him the carry right there. He picked up positive yards. You can get him in the passing game involved.
Cyrus's season. We saw him pile up that 188 yards against Arkansas Pine Bluff with 3 TDs a few weeks back. Off the hands of Bell, who then had to brace himself for an oncoming shot from Corey Williams. 4th down. All right, Coach, what do you do?
They received the ball off a turnover. I think
you got to go.
Yeah, you having possession was a gift from Alcorn State. They're having trouble with blitz off the edge. Alcorn State is picking on Malcolm Cyrus in his blitz protection.
It's like Alcorn State. Alabama State, I should
first
say.
Charge, timeout, second half.
This is their first timeout. So we'll step aside as well here early in this 4th quarter. When we come back, Jay singing for his meal? Not quite.
Boy, you gonna be in trouble.
Grandmama was my cornbread cooking queen. Grandmama was the cornbread cooking queen. Hey, hey, hey. Grandmama, best fried chicken in the world. Grandmama, oh, grandmama. Grandmama was my cornbread cooking queen. Hey, hey. Grandmama, 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 grandmama. Grandmama was my cornbread.
Felt like I was just thrust via video into a Faulkner novel. We'll tell you more about Jay's lunch today. Just a few moments, but right now, 4th down and 4 for Alabama State. This is still a 3-score game, so they need to go for it here on 4th down. They're 1 of 1 on 4th down tonight, and then movement is going to make this a 4th and 9.
22 offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Did you enjoy your lunch today, Jay?
Very much so.
Yeah, it looked like
very
you did,
much so.
Which is nearby here.
Very close place to eat here. And
they
say they have the world's greatest fried chicken. That's what their claim is.
And then they sing to you, the diner, while you eat. That's great.
Mr. D.
Daddy D. Doing the singing. So 4th and 9 now for Duhart and the Hornets. He finds his receiver, but he's stopped short by about 4 yards of the first down. Lucas with the catch, but C.J. Morgan running him out. And Alcorn State will take over on downs. There is a Hornet defender down.
And this was a play they had called for 3rd and 5, but when Cyrus jumped off sides, it becomes 3rd and 9 to 10. Great 5-yard route, but not able to get enough separation. Great chase by C.J. Morgan. And that's that part there, you know, you start to wonder when, if you don't go for it on 4th and 1, then you choose to go for it on 4th and 9.
Devon Francois is the player down for Alcorn State.
He's the leading tackler for this Brave defense. Also leads the team in interceptions.
They tend to Francois, senior from New Orleans, being helped to his feet. Well, Saturday on ESPN, division rivals clash.
My lunch, Mr. D, huge Alcorn fan, huge.
I don't doubt that one bit.
He said, they're going to win by 40 tonight. I said, do you know who they're playing? He said, I don't care. They're going to win by 40 tonight. Got a granddaughter that's in the band, and my plate was manageable. Todd Krulis, on the other hand, our producer, he put away some chicken and ribs now.
Got after it. That doesn't shock me. They did win by 40 on Saturday here. Right now they have a 3-score lead with 13 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Alcorn State trying to jump to 5-1 overall and 3-0 in conference and send Alabama State to their first conference loss.
Let me apologize. Mr. D's grandson in the band plays bass drum.
Gotcha.
His granddaughter. Apologies.
Granddaughter sings though, right?
They all sing in that family.
Williams goes in motion, moving the empty backfield. Deflected, and it's going to drop incomplete.
You know, last thing about my lunch, you know what they say about the chicken there? He says his recipe is so good that if the Colonel had it, he'd be a 5-star general.
A Colonel that lives in Kentucky or used to.
Yes.
Roderick Henderson, the right tackle, is the one that had a hand on that last pass.
I'm surprised to see Alcorn throwing the football. Of course, it's 19 points, not enough to really say this game is over with, but 12 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Take a little bit of that clock down.
Gibbs, Shed, what a spin move, and then he was so good he tackled himself basically. Billy Shed, gain of 12.
Going to bring him on a wheel route out of the backfield. Watch him stop on a dime. He shook himself. Nice cut. Great play, schematically drawn up once again by Willie Simmons, the offensive coordinator for Alcorn.
Wrapping up Williams, stopping his momentum at the 32-yard line.
And those are the tired yards. Alabama State defense has been on the field the majority of this football game. And early on, you couldn't run in the middle, but now you're starting to see bodies leave. 96, Derek Billups going to get a blow on the sideline, their nose tackle. When they stay on the field that long, everybody's got their hands on their hips and they're sucking oxygen, mouthpieces are out. It's been a long day at the office for the Hornet defense.
Well, it was kept by Gibbs, and then he fell down. I think the handoff to Aaron Baker. I don't know if Baker bumped him or if just Gibbs just lost his footing there. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6.
In a play like that, you don't mind if Gibbs does that. If you see something you don't like, you're the quarterback, you're in control, just yank it out of the stomach, go down, protect the football, and live for the next play selection.
Braves happy to eat some clock, which they're doing now. Under 11 minutes to go, down to 10 seconds on the play clock here. They break a kind of a huddle there.
They must have something schemed up.
The 2 on the play clock, get the play off, and the pass to the far side drops right into the hands of Jordan Payne.
What'd I tell you? They had something schemed up. They took their time behind the line of scrimmage and said, what can we get here? We'll get them the fake jet sweep and we'll sneak Jordan Payne, our guy they like to say Mr. Everything. They move him all around the field. They line him up at tight end, at slot receiver, X receiver. They knew, they saw something that they could take advantage of.
That was a gain of 20 on that last pass, so Gibbs now over 200 yards passing at 218. And a 1st down from the Alabama State 15 and inside the 10.
36 Baker on the carry.
Aaron Baker.
Like
they get close to the end zone, they bring in Baker, and they like to hurry up and allow him to get the forward lean.
Now that time Alcorn State moved. Several of them did on the left side.
False start. 79 offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Saw Baker with a hard run on the previous play. Well, all the running backs do that. Watch how they all just finish their runs. Ragsdale, finish off the run, pick up 1 or 2 extra yards. Here's Baker, get north-south, step out of bounds. No, sir. Finish off the run, pick up another 2 yards. Anthony Williams, smallest running back they have, finish off the run, pick up 1 or 2 yards. That's all effort and determination by the running back core of Alcorn State.
Career high for Ragsdale tonight, 138 yards. Broken up by Marcus Berg. They were looking for Rollins.
Pass is incomplete.
Berg, who has an interception tonight, had a chance for another not long ago.
Keep an eye. Jordan Payne, they're moving him from the left side of the formation to the right side of the formation. They do that with him for a reason, whether it's to isolate one-on-one or maybe to serve as a lead blocker with his 6'2", 220-pound frame. I think something's going to happen on the right side of the field.
Yep, going for a fade right in that direction of Payne, who's doubled but out of bounds. He came up with that. Bird, quarterback, had the primary coverage on Payne, but you were spot on, partner. They were headed right to Jordan Payne.
Trying to get a mismatch. One-on-one, but Gibbs just threw the ball out of bounds. Payne went up and made the reception, but did not leave enough field of play for the quarterback to have a nice target he can throw the football to.
Aiden McCraney has hit from 47 tonight. This is a 31-yard attempt. He has hit a 31-yarder as well in this second half. And a bullet. No good. So he's missed 2 now tonight. Still just a little glimmer for Alabama State.
He's back.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Loving it. And Alcorn State, they are 9:33 away from staying unbeaten in conference play. And sending Alabama State to their first conference loss. 26-7 Braves. Alabama State does take over after the missed field goal attempt. Malcolm with the carry to the 25 for Cyrus.
Cyrus on the carry. Moody and Gatewood.
It's a 3-score game as far as Alabama State's concerned. They need 3 scores to have a chance to win this game. Drew Hart is sacked back at the 19, and a late flag comes in. Ricky Joseph bringing him down for his 3rd sack of the season.
Holding, 74, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Left tackle Matthew Bates called for the hold. Bates is a senior, a guy who's had a bad ankle recently, Jay. It's been affecting his play, but there's a guy who's really a good player, perhaps an NFL prospect.
He has size and agility, 6'4", 305, and he could probably hold another 10, 15 pounds on his frame. When we talk about this Alcorn State defense, they've been able to get more tackles for losses without blitzing.
Cyrus to the 25, a gain of 5. And it is 4th down.
Looks like Roberson.
But they're just outguessing. I mean, they're still only bringing 5, and that's 4 plus 1 is sometimes considered a blitz, but in this case, they've got 3 hard rushers and 1 linebacker coming, somebody playing spy, and it has been effective for them, not just tonight, all season long.
Preston Clark's punt is down at the Alcorn State 45 with 8:06 to go.
To apply Magnolia State, and I'm going to be watching 2.
Big weekend, college football. We're getting it started here. SEC Network game days in Starkville. ESPN game day is in Oxford.
Grove and Stark Vegas. Two different contrasts.
Gibbs keeping. Wrapped up, battling several defenders to get back to the line of scrimmage. If Texas A&M in Starkville, doing Eastern time on ESPN, Alabama and Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn.
Let's give credit to the state of Mississippi. I mean, who would have ever thought, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, before Mullen and Hugh Freeze took over their programs, that 1, you would ever have a game day there, and 2, that you would have 2 teams ranked in the top 15 hosting 2 teams ranked in the top 5, and all eyes are going to be on them. So they've done a good job turning around those programs and bringing respectability to Mississippi, the state of Mississippi football.
Bouncing off the tackler, Anthony Williams, but even retreats a little further. The loss of 4 or 5. Roderick Henderson was the first to run into him, number 94, to put a pretty good hurt on Williams, but he kept his feet initially. Wow.
Good runner. You see Roderick Henderson just lose his grip.
And Roderick Henderson came back at the end.
Being tired. He's just tired, look. That's tired, not finishing up the block. He's taking up space, but hard to catch those guys when you're worried about how much oxygen intake you're achieving in your lungs. Is that a complicated way of saying being tired? Oxygen intake achieving in the lungs?
Semantics, but yeah, you got it done. A stiff arm Williams. Does he have the first down? Yes, on 3rd and 14. He runs for 15 or 16 to move the chains.
Fresh legs at the running back position. Anthony Williams able to bounce to the outside where he sees daylight, make a would-be Hornet tackle miss.
Another first down. You know, time of possession tonight, 35+ minutes. We're almost to that point for Alcorn State. Less than 18 for the Hornets. Williams, man, he somehow weaved his way through a crowd up the middle. He picks up close to 10.
And they appreciate it. This is a rushing attack that averages 318 yards rushing, and they're trying to hit that number.
Speaking of those numbers,
we went over that number, 340. Trying to increase the number.
And we said at the top about Alcorn State's balance offensively. How about that? That's not bad for them.
And that's about who they are, except they've exceeded their numbers. Good look at Mr. Hobson there. That's Coach Jay Hobson's father we saw on the sideline. Dr. Hobson, as he's known around this part. But keep in mind, this is an Alabama State team that absolutely dismantled an undefeated Texas Southern team on Saturday. And now they are struggling to keep pace with Alcorn State.
And they beat Texas Southern 38-3 last weekend. Well, Alcorn State had a 40-point victory over the defending conference champion Southern.
I think if you're Alabama State, I think the part that really hurt them is to game plan against Alcorn State in a short week. Very, very tough task. Tough task got tougher having to go on the road with a short week on a Thursday, and too much for the Hornets to overcome.
Well, if Alcorn State does indeed win here tonight, you take a look at what their road to Houston would include. They go to Grambling State, an improved Grambling State team this year, and then Texas Southern on the road for Prairie View A&M and Alabama A&M. We're not odds makers here, Jay, but they're going to be favorites. What do you think in all those games?
Yeah, be careful going to Grambling, though. I've always said Alcorn right now, this year in 2014, is the toughest road trip in HBCU football. Grambling's back in that talk. For years, they were the toughest road trip you had to make in HBCU football. Now they're starting to play good football again, and be careful. That's a watch-out game.
Ragsdale turns the corner, and a block brings him to the end zone for a 31-yard touchdown. They had a 40-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. And were it not for his own man knocking the ball out near the end zone early, this would be his 3rd touchdown run of the game.
Getting to the edge and turning on the Jets. They know what his strengths are, and they use them well. And he gets stronger as the game goes on.
Point after coming for Hayden McCraney. .33-7, 22 carries, 173 yards, a career high, and 2 rushing touchdowns tonight for Darian Ragsdale.
Rushing to the edge, popping the daylight, doesn't see any white jerseys out there, becomes a foot race. He's going to win it. Alcorn.
Almost 600 yards of total offense tonight for Alcorn State. They're 593, so they still may exceed that mark. They're up 33-7. The SWAC East Division showdown that really has been pretty much all Braves tonight, Jay.
It has been, and been pretty thorough. And, you know, I don't know if it's just me becoming biased, but it seems like whenever your football team's winning, your band becomes a little bit better. And Sounds of Dynamite, They may make my top 5 power rankings when it comes to the bands.
Over the head of Joshua Davis and a touchback. 4:05 to go.
And I think, overall, what you're seeing here at Alcorn, this atmosphere and ambiance with an active band and everything, it's not by mistake. They had a plan 2 years ago by design. They said, we want to make the campus more student-friendly. We want activities that students can go to on a regular basis, support our athletic program, our academic program. We really want to have it where a student doesn't have to leave the campus. And keep in mind, there's nothing within 8 miles of this campus anyway, but it's really friendly. And you can send your students here, your student athletes, they can stay here on campus, know everybody, and have that communal environment. And when you talk to their athletic director, Derek Horn, who's been here for the past month and a half, he said he's buying into the whole process, and there's more work that needs to be done, but clearly we've seen it over the past 2 football games we've done here. They're brewing something special here on campus, and it's not by chance that they won 9 games a season ago and have a good likelihood of eclipsing that total.
It'll be 5-1 after a win tonight. It'll be 3-0 at conference play. Cyrus, his progress stopped at the 34 by Damon Watkins.
22 hours on the carry.
Alcorn State a year ago in Jay Hobson's second season as the head coach went 9-3 and 7-2 in conference play. Really the game that hurt them. They lost, their only home loss last year was to Alabama A&M late in the year on November 2nd, lost 19-18. Not for that loss, they would have been in the SWAC championship game last year.
And the 9 wins is impressive, but and all the things they did last year, that was great, but I will tell you this, they snuck up on a lot of people. Nobody really took them serious. They weren't projected to do well the second year. This year, there was a bullseye on their back. And the whole conference said, okay, you snuck up on us last year. You're not going to sneak up on us this year. We're going to give you our best shot. And they have more than answered the call.
Even going back to last year, they beat the 2 teams that wound up in the conference championship game. They won at Southern in overtime. This is last year, 44-38. And beat Jackson State in the final game of the year here, 48-33. And those 2 teams, Southern and Jackson State, went to double overtime in Houston to determine the conference champion. That could have been picked off.
There clearly has not been excitement in this area since the McNair days. Clearly, and it's a good thing. There's certain programs that when they have success in conference play, it takes the rest of the conference up to a higher level. Now the problem you have down here in Mississippi is with Alcorn rolling like this, Jackson State needs to get their act together. Puts more pressure on their coaching staff there.
Nowhere close to Earl Lucas, the intended receiver. Anthony Williams was the closest there in quadruple coverage for Alcorn State. And it's 4th down, and Alabama State will punt.
We talk about Jackson State. There's nothing better than I'm sure that the Tigers down to JSU would love to do is say, Alcorn, you look great. That's fine. You have to see us last game of the season. And if JSU can go into that game with only 1 conference loss and that game be for all the marbles, all bets are off. Throw records out. I'm calling that a draw. It'll just be a good one.
Well, college football on ESPNU continues Saturday with a triple head. Well, the night is over for Gibbs as Morris Footman takes over at quarterback for Alcorn State. A carry for Aaron Baker. Straight ahead for about 3.
A cap off that Jackson State rivalry they have. For years that game was always played in Jackson. The Veteran Stadium there in the city of Jackson, bigger stadium, big crowd. A couple years ago, they decided, Alcorn made the decision, we're going to play it home and home. So we'll come to Jackson one year, then you all come to our place the next year. And this year, guess where it just happens to be?
It's here this year.
It's here.
Yeah, last year was at Jackson State. I think I may have misspoken.
Yeah, so things are lining up well for the Braves. And normally you'd be very concerned about them going to Jackson, but they don't have to make that trip this year. Jackson has to come here. There's something special taking place here. All the stars are aligning.
First down run there for Aaron Baker. Deontrell Silman knocked him out of bounds. Restart the clock with just over 2 minutes to go. This quarterback, Lenoris Footman, is one that Alcorn State very high on. Hit the backfield. Roderick Henderson, number 4, with the tackle for loss. Well, Roderick and his 350 pounds, not finished yet tonight. He may be a tired man, but his job not yet done.
Long night for the defensive line for Alabama State. A line that's got 4 300-plus pounders on it. And today, tough catching the speedy running backs from Alcorn State.
Low snap. Footman picks it up and hands it off. This is Robert Clay with a carry. Well, what's the message that's been sent tonight, really for both teams, Jay?
Questions have been answered. I really do believe so. Everybody wanted to know the question, is Alabama State really that good? The way they dismantled Arkansas Pine Bluff, the way they dismantled Texas Southern, are they really that good? And the question, everybody thought, yeah, they really are that good. For Alcorn, well, they took apart Southern. Who did they play after that? And close loss versus Southern Miss shouldn't count. Well, after what you've seen, yes, they're that good. They are that good. The question has been answered, and you're clearly looking at one of the top teams in HBCU football.
Could be the final play tonight. It's going to be another physical one. But Alcorn State's going to walk out of here with a 33-7 win. So Braves are 3-0 in conference, 5-1 overall. Hornets suffer their first conference loss and drop to 4-2 overall.
It was a good one. This place here has turned into a death trap for opposing teams. Coach Jay Hobson, job well done.
602 total yards of offense for Alcorn State. Coming up next, college football weekend. 33-7. Alcorn State wins it. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Good night from Alcorn State.
Beaten on the season.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Arizona is they've had to play really close games and find ways to win them. Now you're going to see if they are going to be tested in how they play against Oregon. Early on, they look pretty strong, but Oregon, as we all know, can just turn it on just like that.
Marcus Mariota and the Ducks, coming off the bye week, they have some problems to fix. They got offensive line issues. They allowed 7 sacks against Washington State.
The real key is Marcus Mariota, the last time these two played, he was hurt. And 7 times he was hit last week, sacked. Other times he was hit. This offensive line has lost some of their key starters, and it's made them very vulnerable. The one thing is, you know he's going to run. He's going to take hits there. You don't want him standing back in the pocket getting those hits.
How do you feel about Oregon at this point of the season? Through the early part of the season, they beat Michigan State. You know, they're in the top 5 firmly, but now offensive line issues, close game against Washington State. I mean, are you nervous about them stubbing their toe again?
You know, the thing is, I'm concerned about their offense, but even